Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold. You will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Red Small make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Corey Coker. Kenny Can, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio, bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, better with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Let's check.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, June 25th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Off to a great start this week. Kept rolling off of our final show on Friday. We need to get the link to Spooner got to get a link to Spooner. I was hoping that that would have been taken care of, but I will stop the show quickly and try and get this to our friend Morgan Spooner. Jose is producing 2 shows, so it's not easy for our guy. Let's get this invite over to Mr. Spooner. And here we go. I apologize for this. Bets. And there we go. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to the plan. Excellent day yesterday. Excellent day. 6-3 plus 3.25 units in MLB. Started off very questionably, and then 6 straight winners to close out the night. Colorado first 3 plus a half. Tampa Bay Rays, LA Angels, Boston, LA under 8. Miami, San Francisco under 8.5. Miami first 3 plus a half. Cash. Very, very helpful. WNBA, we went 2-1. The 2 hours I spend after each show going over the notes and then placing bets is so crucial to the success that I've been having this year and over the last while. And it's getting harder and harder and more difficult and more difficult. And it should be, right? I mean, I had 3,000 in bets yesterday, and that you shouldn't take that lightly. It's taken a long time to have a bankroll, and it's been taking a long time to be able to put that action out. And so it should be difficult, but I'm finding it's excruciating. One thing, though, that really, really helped, and I want to mention it here to you guys today, is and we talk about it quite a bit, but it keeps hitting home more and more. So I was saying that, I didn't think that this was a letdown spot for the Seattle Storm because Caitlin Clark was coming to town. We had DC Capper saying, no, this is a big letdown spot. So I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there after the show. And then the main thing for me, and maybe when you get really good, you can just do a complete flip. But the main thing for me is the opening line. So yes, it had moved 2 or 2.5 points towards the Seattle Storm. But the final thought was, how in the world can a team that's 6-7 and 2-4 on the road, and I know that Caitlin Clark was injured for a week and a half or 2 weeks, be a 1-point underdog to the Seattle Storm, who are 9-5, 5-2 at home, and just beat the defending champions? They're obviously setting up a line where they know they'll get, even though Fever are a very public play, they'll get Storm action. When the opening line makes no sense, maybe it doesn't matter that much that it moves a couple points in the direction of the favorite or of the team that you thought should be a much bigger favorite. Once I sat with that, I was like, okay, I'll leave it off. And that gave me a 2-1 day. So I'm thankful for DC Capper's input. I'm thankful for all of your input. I copy and paste like an absolute madman. And, we have comfortably beaten NFL, then comfortably beaten NHL, then comfortably beaten NBA. And my bankroll is growing and growing and growing. And there really, other than our family, is nothing more important than that. And I thank you guys. I thank you for the work that we're doing together, what we're building as a community. And I'm honored to be the host of this show and for you guys to rock with me. I'm very, very thankful. I don't take it lightly. I want to win so badly. My life is on the line. My family is on the line. We must succeed. We must succeed. And we're doing it. We're doing it. And it means a lot to me that we are succeeding. Also, Mr. Bouquet off of a huge day as well. So we are both just a taint hair below a double-digit units in MLB on the season. You got to start somewhere. The run up to 50 units must start at 10. So let's get to there first. Shout out to everybody joining us. Mr. McKelvey in the house. Tax play today. Tigers over 8.5. Robert Acuna Jr. over 1.5 bases. That is copied and pasted right here. Right here. And I can't tell you how important it is for me to go over everybody's action, go over my plan of attack, decide what makes perfect sense and what do we attack with, and then go get paid. It's been working. And I really think that that's that now for me, I always thought the 8 hours before the show, the 8 hours of prep was the most important. Then I thought, no, it's got to be the 4-hour show. But I'm realizing now it's the 2 hours afterwards, sitting with all of the information. Billy Friedrich says Pig Milk is running ice cold, 3-5 down, 1.71 units. That's not bad. 3 bad beats in the river sweep yesterday. Going to step away for the rest of the week, maybe longer. I hope that's not the case, Billy. I hope you're not longer. We need Pig Milk play of the day and the work that you've done. I mean, you run into a speed bump. That's all it is a speed bump. Gonna copy and paste that to make sure I get in touch with you. There's Gorky in the house. We have Bombers regulation Alouettes money line for Gorky. Truth Teller said yesterday my 2 most confident bets were the Dodgers game over 12. That was an easy one. Also the Giants and Marlins under. I like the over again in the Dodgers game. 10.5 seems like an easy one. He also went over in the Giants game over 7. I like both of these again today. Wow. I really like the first 3 under in that Giants game. In fact, I kind of like it better, and we'll go over all this, than the Skeens-Mizorowski spot, but we'll go over all of that. Truth Teller making moves. Let's get this all copied and pasted. Let's get this all locked in. You might have heard the Vancouver Knuckleheads are bringing home a Vancouver boy. Evander Kane coming home to Vancouver. Vancouver, I grew up there. There's a lot of pretentious people there. They're extremely upset that a Vancouver boy, Evander Kane's coming home. And I've got to sit with it a little longer. This is just, but the hatred that's coming out. The problem is these Vancouver boys that I was, older than, not that much older, 5-10 years older than, we're in domestic issues. Milan Lucic, he's despised in Vancouver. And now after that domestic that kicked him out of hockey, nobody wants him back. I understand that. And maybe I don't, like, I understand the Lucic. Maybe I don't know enough about the Evander Kane situation. I just remember him as a kid with the Giants and hearing all the hate about him coming back to Vancouver. I didn't like it very much, but I should know more about why they hate him so much. There was some just crazy stuff when he left his pregnant wife. I don't know the story well enough myself. Here we go. Billy Friedrich says those Brad Stevens trades have my attention. Celtics will be a contender with those. Fat Wally says, are you allowing educated equine evaluators in your chat Saturday? Not only in the chat, Fat Wally, but we want you on screen. We want you on screen, our big show on Saturday. I cannot wait for it. I'm so excited. Torpedo Anna, we get to watch. We get to watch Sierra Leone go up against Mystic Dan. It's going to be incredible. I cannot wait. All day Saturday horse racing show here. There's Remos talking about that Kane spot to Vancouver. They're losing their minds over it. They're losing their minds. By the way, the Abbotsford Canucks, the Abbey Canucks, took the Calder Cup, into our friend Rich H's bar. Celebrities in Vancouver took it into the bar last night. Shout out to Rich H. Shout out to Vancouver. Big Daddy Boom in the house. Big Daddy Boom, we'll get you right. We will get you right here on this show. Sports scientist Jacob says, who is this people working from home today? It concerns me what you're working on if you say, who is this people? It's, either who is this person or who are these people? I can't imagine what work you're doing if that is a struggle. Sly One in the house. Ronnie Lofton, T. Moss, Kong's Clips, Peralta, 7 Ks, Detroit first 5 minus 1.5. That was wild. Can you believe how many runs were scored in that one in Atlanta money line? Atta boy, Kong's Clips. There's the Sweaty Butcher in the house. Robert Cherry says, I'm with mom at the nursing home right now, but I'm listening. Robert Cherry, love to your mom and thinking of you. There's Chappie Funk in the house. Wine Time Sports. Wine Time Sports not going to be rocking with us today, but he will be back with us on Friday. Instead of Wine Time, we have the great Morgan Spooner, who's backstage right now. So while I'm giving the shouts out, let's bring him on. We're excited to rock with him today. Coming to us from Northeast Ohio. Please welcome Spoons Bets in the house. Spooner, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Coming off a 4-1 day myself. Haven't had a losing day since last Thursday. I'm just excited, keeping moving forward here. Shout out sports scientist Jacob. He joined us on Sunday, Wine Time and I. He's a new friend of the channel, Jimmy.
Oh, I
Work on
apologize.
his English.
Sorry?
Sports scientist Jacob, you were just calling him out there.
Yes. And
new,
he is
new friend of the channel.
He's
joined,
English second
Wine
language?
Time and I for a little bit.
He's English second language?
It might be. I think he's more of a math person.
Okay. I apologize. Who is this people? Caught me. It was like a slight
Bad first impression. He's got to come up from there.
That's okay. If he's a friend of yours, I will. I'm a fickler for language. And who is this people? It's okay. Okay. But shout out to all of the cappers here in the chat. Sly One, Ronnie Lofton, T-Moss, Kongs, Clips, The Sweaty, Butcher, Chappie Funk, Wine Time Sports, Crystal Craig, plus 2,000 parlay last night. Clement 2 or more, Vladdy 2 or more, Springer Homer. Great job, Crystal Craig. I love to hear it. Old E Redbeard says the under in the Pirates game. We're going to get to the afternoon baseball right away because it's very, very interesting. We got JM ready to go. AOD, J Dub. It is a great, great group here. 9 Legacy. Let me get 9 Legacies action here. Copy and pasted. What a great card today, man. What a great card. I believe, Spooner, that the best fade in Major League Baseball, the number one fade in Major League, is Justin Verlander. Because of his name, because of his pedestrian stats, we're getting lines that we shouldn't get, fading him. And I have a hunch. I have a hunch that this may be better than him will be Mr. Scherzer, who is pitching today. These old guys don't have it anymore. And their name carries a ton of weight. And Verlander, wait till Verlander goes on the road. If he can't pitch at Oracle.
We have another pitcher that's going to be on the same breath of air that I want to get to when we get to that Toronto game. I think we have a similar value.
Oh, Scherzer, I cannot wait. And I did wait, though, because I wanted a sign. Like, I keep wanting a sign from the books. It costs money when the sign comes, but the sign came heavy, and so I was a little late, but I moved on it. We got T-Moss in the house. Black Thor King Jermaine ready to go. Steve G off a 2-0 day. Redbeard off a 2-1 day. We have Troy Torrance here. It says, unlike yesterday's guaranteed victory, today's card and stuff, that was beautiful. Great to see all of you guys. We got AM ready to get to work. Serious business. Christopher Carter. I love it. AM says, anything I say here is early market speculation, but my only plays are what I post. I get it. Great to see all you guys. Cheshire Cat in the house. Boston Nick, it's been too long. It is great to see you, man. Hope all is well. Hope you can join us for horses on Saturday. We got Lil Domo in the house. Nasty Nate ready to go. And sports scientist Jacob play today. Milwaukee team total under a half run. First 3 innings. Let's get that copied and pasted. Do you think, well, we're going to get into it quickly, but let me just ask you just as a hint. Do you think that Paul Skeens, allowing 2 earned runs, walking 5 batters in his last start had anything to do with going to the College World Series with his spectacular girlfriend?
0%. I don't think that's an issue at all. You were just talking about Verlander. I think part of the issue with Verlander is he officially passed the torch to Skeens last year, and he just lost all the magic with that torch. It's kind of like when Tiger Woods lost his horse. He couldn't hit the golf ball the same anymore. I think this is just a passing of the torch. I think Skeens is going to be just fine today.
So you don't think getting out of the rhythm had anything to do with walking 5 batters?
I think you're making something. There's a lot of reasons you could get to that point. I don't think anything poorly of that last start. It was a second road start in a row for him, a Detroit lineup that was really good. The first few innings, he looked really sharp. The longer he got out there, the more times Detroit got to see him. He's a pitcher. 2 runs is not that bad.
No, not at all.
And he's a guy that is not scared to walk you. Those walks, maybe with a robot ump, he gets 2 of those called as strikeouts because they're right there painting the edge, and he's still a rookie in some of the eyes of these umpires, and they don't give him that veteran zone yet.
They don't. Grabbing more action here. We got Markel. Yes, Latsy. How is that not a great trade? I mean, $5 million is not that much money. A 4th-round pick. What's the chance 4th-round pick playing 100 games in the NHL? 8%. I'm just guessing. Blackthorn King on Scherzer under 4.5 Ks is his play of the day. Kelly McInnes in the house. It is time to get to work here. Let me pull this up. And I know we don't have you for too long. How long do we have you for, my friend?
I'm looking at my schedule. I think I can pull off probably about an hour and a half from right now. And then I got to be pretty close to a hard out at 2.
Okay, that's beautiful. Cheshire, no, I did not grow up in Echo Park. I did live there for a few years and got egged regularly there. Chris Mack, Rob Greer in the house. Great to see all of you guys. Mel says, what the hell are they doing? I don't think there's anything wrong with this, right? There's nothing wrong with this. My pleasure, Chappie Funk, my friend. All right, great to see all of you guys. Remo says, great trade for both. I agree. Oh yeah, see, giving up a draft kick to not have them retain it. There has to be people who say he's going to ruin the room. He's a bad character. He's all those things. And let's say you are troubled, come home, right? But God, people are just assholes. They hate him. Big O in the house. Okay, great to see all of you guys. Let's get to work here right now. We have TJ with Tampa Bay money line, Cubs -1, Toronto, Cleveland over, and LA first 5. God, were the Angels so good to us? Tyler Anderson so good to us. All of that was so good. Was your beautiful read on that Rays game as well yesterday. It was a thing of beauty, Spooner, and got us all paid. Thank you, TJ. Let's get to work, fellas. We start at 2:10 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 41-38, 21-20 on the road at the Chicago White Sox, 25-55, 16-23 at home. We're at Wright Field in Chicago, Illinois. So, Spooner, these games I'm in love with. Let me start that. But my first instinct was, I know we have a vividness bias of Zach Gallen. I get it. But if there was a spot for him to get right, wouldn't it be here? Wouldn't it be here against the White Sox coming from Colorado? Maybe he's incapable of getting right. Maybe he's just, something's wrong with him. But we've had enough starts now, 91 and 2/3 innings, where they would have put him on the IL for a little bit. And I like Sean Burke very, very much. These are pedestrian poor numbers. And, I know that I had the argument with our friend LJ from H-Town. And LJ said that when he sees 2 pitchers with ERAs over 4, he bets the over. And I was saying, I think that's simplifying things too much. But it also made me excited that cappers do think that way. And I believe I can take advantage of cappers that think that way. We have the weather, 75 Fahrenheit, feels like 80, 5.4 miles per hour left to right, gets up to 6.3 miles per hour. Let's get into the Ballpark Pal, which you have sent. Thank you for that. Ballpark Pal has Wright Field just plus 1%, plus 16% home runs, minus 17% doubles and triples, and plus 1% singles. Let's get into the line history here and the cash flow. This is an 8.5, and it opened up at 9 minus 116 to the under. Now it's 8.5 minus 113 to the over. When this was minus 118 to the over, I thought there was basically no difference. The under 9 minus 116 under, the over 8.5 minus 118 to the over. That's the same line. But then there was a big move to the under, and it went away. But I still like that big move to the under. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm very interested in moving on this baseball game. From a money line perspective here, we have the Diamondbacks minus 149. They opened up at minus 132. Now, that can say several things. That doesn't mean that Zach Gallen's going to have a great start. It just means that people trust the Diamondbacks sticks much more than the White Sox sticks. Diamondbacks versus righties, 261, 791 OPS. White Sox versus righties, 203, 598 OPS. These are last 30-day numbers. Zach Gallen's last start, he allowed 10 hits, 7 earned runs in a 14-8 win at the Rockies. On the road this year, he's allowed 23 earned runs in 43 innings, which is bad, 9 home runs. He's only allowed 35 hits. It just seems like when they hit him, it's with the barrel of the bat. Lefties hitting 257, 809 OPS against him. Shout out to Beer Nuts in the house. Righties 235, 737. Sean Burke has allowed 1 earned run over his last 5 1/3. 5-4 loss at home versus the Cardinals. At home, 8 starts. He's only allowed 16 earned runs. I mean, there's so many different ways to break down these stats, and you do such a great job of picking out the stats that mean the most to you. But in one extra inning of pitching for Gallen on the road compared to Burke at home, Burke's allowed 1 more hit. Now it just happens that Gallen gets barreled. These bullpens give White Sox the advantage. Take it away for us here, Spooner. Game 1 of afternoon action here on Pub Sports Radio, Diamondbacks, White Sox. I can't wait to hear your plan.
So a big thing for me when I was looking at the numbers in this game, the Arizona Diamondbacks had the tickets and the money. And at a certain point in time, the money shifted over to the Chicago White Sox. The bookmakers themselves, as far as where the lines are at, haven't had a huge reaction to that. But I think the White Sox are live today. I think it's an early spot where they're live. Zach Gallen, as you touched on, is not having a good year. I like to look at XFIP. And you can break it down by start. In all of these starts, his xFIP is above 4.5, going back to 5.6. And his K percentage is really far down there. His hard hit percentage is over 50% in almost every game. So that means the balls that he's leaving over the plate, teams are touching. And this White Sox lineup, the last month or so, they've hit the ball a lot better than I think a lot of people give them credit for. Sometimes it doesn't look that great, but there's 3 or 4 bats in there that I think can get to Gallen. I could only get on the White Sox early. I didn't end up betting this game, but I think Sean Burke has been really good at home. He gave up 1 earned in 5 1/3 to St. Louis. He gave up 2 earned in 7 innings pitched versus the Detroit Tigers. He gave 1 earned versus the Texas Rangers and just 1 earned versus Miami. This is a guy that pitches really well at home. He's able to stack a consecutive home start here. It's not a really offensive day at the park. I think this Diamondbacks lineup is they're hurt. They're missing at least 2 of their bigger bats here right now with Corbin Carroll and not Suarez. Second name's losing me right now, but you also have Ketel Marte, who had a little bit of an emotional spot in the game last night. I don't know where he's going to be at mentally wise. The White Sox had.
Do you want to expand on that for people who don't know what you're speaking of? Because I'm not sure everybody does know. It was tough to watch. It was tough to watch, and I know that we expect these baseball players to take abuse, but can you just so people know what we're talking about?
So Ketel Marte is a guy that lost his mother a few years ago. He's
2017
playing right there in the infield, and he's getting heckled by this fan just consistently yelling at him, and the words clearly got to him. You saw him get emotional there. Joking around with death is not fun for anybody. I'm glad the White Sox just did the right thing, kicked the fan out for life.
Yeah, it was to see him emote like that was very tough to watch.
It was tough to figure out what was going on, but it adds to me not wanting to play in this game because Ketel Marte could go out there and have 3 home runs himself and get the Diamondbacks every run they need.
So we haven't talked about the cash flow for this first afternoon spot here. We have 70% of the tickets on Arizona, 65% of the cash on the White Sox. You know what? The market moved pretty heavily to the White Sox yesterday. And that didn't bring cash to anybody. 71% of tickets on the over and 54% of cash on the over here. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, D-Trip. Yeah. So are you making anything official on this one?
Nope, I'm off this game. I do have 5 plays today, so I feel pretty well spread out around the board. I don't need to add any action.
This is and shout out to JR Swish. We got JR Swish in the house, blessing us with a $9.99 dono to get that cash. Mel, I love you, and I've got to think about that more. What you were talking about again, I I'd only known about the trade for about an hour and a half or so. And so I was just inundated with hate towards him on social media with because I'm from Vancouver. So I'm, friends with a lot of people from Vancouver. It's just nonstop hate towards Vander Kane. And I think I was just dealing with that, not maybe letting the Oilers off the hook. So I need to study it a little more. Shout out to J.R. Swish in the house. AM says Diamondbacks, White Sox just had a big move on the under. Well, I like the under. Do we think that the Diamondbacks lineup has been hit by injuries so hard that there's no concern on a full game under as well? Do you feel that way, or do you think that we should still be concerned with this White Sox bullpen that's been pretty good over the last 30 days, and the Diamondbacks bullpen's been bad, but White Sox can't hit righties? Now, their numbers against lefties are just slightly better. Do you think that this is a first three focus, or that the Diamondback sticks are so light that they're weak, that the White Sox questionable bullpen won't be that big of a problem?
I read this game the way I looked at it was a Jimmy first 3 under. It's not a market I continuously go back to. I've tried to hit it a few times where it really sets up, but there's enough red flags here for Zach Gallen. But as you pointed out, if he's going to get right, this is a good lineup to do it against. Just the underlying metrics aren't there for me. I give the White Sox the starting pitching advantage. I give them the bullpen advantage. And with a hurt lineup, I think the lineups are a lot closer than people think.
I think it's a great breakdown, Spooner. The question I have now is, do I double down? And honestly, I don't see why I wouldn't double down here. I know that this has just been bouncing all over the place. I mean, the under 8.5 was when it first moved to 8.5, it was minus 101. It quickly got to plus 104. The over started getting bet, and then it flipped, as I told you. Then the under 8.5 was minus 109 again. Then it flips again at 12:21 p.m., where the over 8.5 is minus 113. There was just a 10-cent move 2 minutes ago on the under. I think it's the right bet. I think it is the right bet. We got BJ here. Beavis is on Chicago White Sox money line. Chicago White Sox first 5. BJ's best bet, New York Mets, also endorsing the Chicago Cubs. And Troy Torrance says Gallen gets right. Yes, Coin. That's a great. You know what? I hear what you're saying, Cheshire. Obviously, he wasn't charged with anything or arrested, but I need to study the situation more because there's a lot of hate going on for him right now. But I hear you, Cheshire, and I will do that. I think this is a double up spot here. Thank you, Mel. That means a ton here. Justin McKelvey, though, on the other side with the White Sox team, total over 3.5. Yes, you can be arrested for something, Cheshire, and then, we all know how courts work.
Let's carry on. I would like to try to get through as much of this card as I can with you. I've already broke down the whole thing a couple times, so I'm excited to hit some more spots.
Let's roll to Pirates Brewers here at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Paul Skeens going up against Jacob Misiorowski. This is a game everybody wants to talk about. Paul Skeens on the road has been spectacular until that 8-4 win at Detroit, where we talked about it earlier. But overall, he has not allowed a home run on the road. Opponents hitting 171 against him on the road. He's allowed 8 earned runs in 9 starts on the road. Just 34 hits allowed. His splits are phenomenal. Going up against the other most popular person here of these young pitchers, Jacob Misiorowski, 2-0, 1.64 ERA, 0.55 WHIP. He has looked very, very good here in 2 starts. Pirates are not hitting righties. Brewers are 258, 736 OPS. And the Brewers are making a move for that division. Now, a lot of people still think this is the Cubs division, and they have every right to feel that way. Both bullpens have also been pitching very well, especially the Pirates bullpen. Let's get into the line history here. We have a 6.5. Now, this opened up at 7 and lasted there for 2 hours and 17 minutes before it hit a 6.5. It was a 6.5 for a while. Then we got back to 7 at 8:30 in the morning. I thought that was extremely interesting. But push game to shove at 11:08 a.m. This got back to a 6.5. I looked last night as soon as it was available what the first 3 under was, and it was exactly the same as Skeen's first 3 unders are almost every start. It was a 1.5 at plus 105. Even when this line moved back to 7, the first 3 under dropped even further, dropped 5 cents further to plus 100. Right now, that first 3 under 1.5 is minus 120. Unbelievable. I wasn't sure I wanted it here at 105. And now it's minus 120. Shout out to Cameron Sinnott in the house, says a Spooner that Kyle Schwarber bomb on Sunday was money. Take it away here for us. The battle of the phenoms, Skeens and Mizorowski.
Yeah, these are 2 of the most talented young pitchers in the game right now. Fastballs galore are going to be coming out of these guys' hands. This is a spot where I see some 6.5s on the board, and I don't mind paying the juice to try to get over it. I sat with it for quite a while because I expected most of the public to be on this under. I expected them to see these pitchers with the 2 poor lineups, and I really thought this would be a spot where I could just attack that over. I don't think just being contrarian to the public is a good way to bet MLB, but I think 6.5 is a really, really small number. These are 2 pitchers that could have really good outings, each give up 2 runs, and these bullpens are nothing to write home about. I really don't think that they can't score 7 runs in this game, even if both of these pitchers play well. You also add in, we're playing MLB in the year 2025. With 2 good pitchers like this, we could walk into a 2-2 tie at the end of 9 and hit extras. And extra innings just means run. That ghost runner on second, as soon as the first team scores, you're about guaranteed 3 runs. It's just a different game. I could only be on this over. I didn't end up moving on it. There's other plays on the board that I liked better, but I think both of these pitchers can give up a few runs, and the over is the only look I could get on here. I don't think there's a lot of value on either side. Mizorowski, I don't think is going to go that deep into this game. They haven't let him throw over 90 pitches yet, and Paul Skeens he's going to be out there for the long haul. So I think Pittsburgh, I would give them the upper edge if I was going for the side, but I did not bet this game.
I can understand exactly what AM is feeling here, though. Just reading the market. This line opens up with the Pirates minus 114. They're now minus 104. The ticket split isn't exactly what I expected. 55% of the tickets on Milwaukee. I thought there'd be a higher amount of tickets on Pittsburgh. 64% of the cash on the Pirates. So I can understand him wanting the Brewers here. I don't need on this card to challenge Skeens here. I don't feel that necessary. So I'm not going to do it. I can understand you moving on the over 6.5. I think that the fact that it went from 7 to 6.5 back to 7, even that it's at 6.5 right now, but I do think that was an important message. Did that play
movement needs to be respected?
Sorry?
That U-shaped movement from the market needs to be respected. We talk so often about the psychological tricks that the books use on us. By the end of at game time, they're not trying to have soft numbers out there. The soft numbers they want in the middle of the market to attract some of that money. By the time it gets to the end of the market's ability to play on the pre-pitch line, it's going to be the sharpest line that can come out. They're not trying to get beat, and that's why this is so close to a pick 'em.
Well, I had the opportunity at plus 105, and I was hesitant. It's not been the wheelhouse for the first threes. It's so interesting what's been working, but it's these pedestrian numbers that Zach Gallen and Sean Burke have. That's what's been cashing first threes, D-Trip says pitching first 5 is a wash. Troy Torrance says the only bet to make pre-flop is Pirates first 5 money line. Then you can look to live bet the Brewers. I don't know if I need to get involved, but what price difference do you think the Pirates should be full game to first 5? With Skeens on the hill against this great young pitcher in Mizorowski?
So the first 5, I feel like should have maybe 5 extra cents towards the Pirates. If we look at these 2 bullpens, I believe the Brewers have the better bullpen. There's some pretty good arms back there for the Pirates, but they've not been what they've been in the past. Currently, in the last 30 days, they're pitching very well, 7th in baseball in ERA, 2nd in weighted on base. The Brewers bullpen is just middle of the pack in the 14s, 14 range for all the important stats for me. But I think this is, at the end of the season, a Brewers bullpen that I trust more. So I would have it more juice to the Pirates in the first half and then more juice to the Brewers in the full game.
The White Sox Diamondbacks is now an 8. Fuck, that moved so fast. God damn, that moved so fast. That moved so fast, man. I got to get this first 3 under in as soon as possible. I can't take the full game now at an 8. Spooner, do you want to begin our break? I got to get this bet in. Do you want to begin the breakdown of Red Sox Angels, my friend? We got a Richard Fitz going up against Yusei Kikuchi.
Yes, Dick Fitz versus Yusei Kikuchi. We have 55% of the tickets on the over and 74% of the cash on the under. This line opened at a 9, and I see 8.5 juice to the over just about everywhere across the board. 51% of the tickets have come in on the LA Angels, and 56% of the money has come in on Boston. What this is telling you that there's a big pick'em going on here as far as who you want to trust more. I think a lot of people are going to be scared of Yusei Kikuchi. I think this is a guy that when he's at home, he's going to pitch a lot better. I've seen some rumors about him. He needs 14, 15 hours of sleep before his start. That's his big routine. So I feel like him being able to stack consecutive home starts is a really big advantage for him. A guy that has that kind of routine. I'm sure it's so much more effective in your own bed, your own house, everywhere where you're comfortable. On the other side of this is Richard Fitz, a guy coming back up from the minor leagues, a spot where we normally like to try to back pitchers. But when I look at this is an Angels team that sent him down to the minor leagues. They got 5 earned runs off him, 4 hits, all in an inning. They absolutely just trashed this guy. And at this point, I like their ability to do it again. This Los Angeles team is under new management right now. I think the team's kind of rallied around the new manager. The offense is showing up on a regular basis. Last night wasn't the greatest, but this is an Angel spot for me. I didn't end up betting it. I see some respect from the market towards the Red Sox, and I can't quite get there myself with it, so it doesn't correlate enough for me to actually put a bet down. The Red Sox bullpen on paper, 6 ERA in the last 30 days, 2nd ERA in the last 14 days. Their xFIP is top 15 all the way across the board from full season, 30 days, last 14. I think those are kind of lying numbers. If we look at blown saves, I think the Red Sox are tied for 2nd in Major League Baseball right now. And I think this Angels team can get to them. An Angels team total or an Angels money line was what I was trying to get to. I didn't bet it, though.
Well, that was a great breakdown. I did get that first 3 under 2.5 in, which is a relief. I was going to double up, but I'm not going to double up at 8. I have a feeling that it could get back to 8.5. Yeah, I might get another chance at it in an hour. And if I don't, that's fine, because initially the only plan was to be on that first 3 under. And shout out to you guys who got the 9. Excellent work. I know Mark A got the 9. Let's talk about Richard Fitz here in Worcester, where he spent most of his time. 3 starts in 12 innings, because we haven't seen Mr. Fitz since June 2nd. When he got lit up by these Angels. We so often see that kind of zigzag action, but Yusei Kikuchi's been spectacular. The one issue for Yusei Kikuchi, which was not a problem, was the Astros, when he faced them last week, had 1,000 OPS versus lefties in the previous 30 days. They got him for 2 solo shots in the first inning and then nothing else. Here we have a Red Sox team hitting 278, 24 OPS versus lefties, with both bullpens pitching very well. In Worcester, he didn't look very good. 9 strikeouts and 4 walks over 12 innings. He allowed 7 earned runs. I'm a little surprised. You talk sometimes about the feeling of you think that a young pitcher is not put in the right position to succeed. Do you think Richard Fitz is being put into a situation to succeed here? You muted my man.
This isn't a guy that's a young pitcher. Richard Fitz isn't like the 20-year-old phenom coming up that I'm worried about. Can they put him in a good spot? This is a kind of journeyman, been around the minor leagues for a little bit. I know he doesn't want to go back to the minors. Everything's so much better in the majors. He's going to be here in LA looking at a giant spread. He flew here on a plane. He didn't have to get on a bus, do any of that terrible thing. Like, he's going to get so much more money if he can find a way to stick around in the majors this year. And I know guys that make it this far have so much talent, but in this spot, I don't see a way for him to be successful. The Angels bats are hitting better than they were when they sent him down. And everything that was, I don't think he changed anything in the minors. Maybe he did, and maybe he'll show us that. And I think the market is saying that we should respect it a little bit, but it doesn't correlate. It doesn't.
You know, the line is extremely fishy. I know
it should have opened up much more heavily to the Angels. It's
much more. Not only that, it doesn't move. And the first move is very slight, but it's towards the Red Sox. That is extremely fishy. So I think that it's intimating that Fitz is going to pitch well here. We know that Kikuchi can get the job done. Both bullpens are pitching excellent right now. The Angels bullpen last 30 days has been, I mean, they're on their way. They're top 5, and the Red Sox are right there with them. Wusta. Okay, sorry. I'll work on that. That's Nate. And he says Red Sox smash, and Troy Torrance agrees here. So we are not making anything official on this one, Spooner?
Nope.
All right. There's my guy, Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Nutflush Allen ready to get to work here. I think that the under is appealing. Just wanted to quickly go over that weather one more time. 74 Fahrenheit, 5.4 miles per hour out to right center, gets up to 8 mile per hour winds. We'll also be able to touch on it with Jose. Ask Jose what his thoughts are. Angel Stadium overall, though, plus 4%, plus 11% home runs, minus 4% doubles and triples, and even singles. So, AM says definitely looks like an Angel spot, but would like a stronger signal or a signal of any kind. DC Capper, great job. Absolutely great job, man. And you helped get me off of the Liberty. And I listened very closely and thought about it for a long period of time and respect what you have to say. And great job yesterday, DC. All right, I'm interested in another under. I don't really want to go back to the well, but I think that it makes sense here. We will revisit this. Let's roll on, Spooner. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Washington Nationals and San Diego Padres. We have John joining us, who's watched you with the Sauce Network. And shout out to all of the cappers that have come over from the Sauce Network. Kerm's doing a hell of a job over there, and respect that channel very much. 4:10 p.m. here, Spooner. Washington Nationals 33-47, 17-23 on the road at San Diego Padres 43-36, 24-14 at home. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Let's get into the weather there in San Diego. 69 Fahrenheit, feels like 68, 7.2 miles per hour left to right, and slightly in. It becomes less and less in as the game goes on, but it builds a little bit, gets up to 8.9 miles per hour. Petco Park today is... Where are we? Is minus 4% home runs, minus 7% doubles and triples, and minus 2% singles. Mr. McKelvey's got Tatis over 1.5 bases plus 117. Mal, Reds first 5 plus 1.5. So let's get into the line history here of Nationals Padres. We have Mackenzie Gore in possibly a very good situation. The Padres are hitting with no power whatsoever against left-handed pitching in the last 30 days. Not getting on base. They look bad. 213, 597 OPS. And the Nats bullpen is still a problem, and the Padres bullpen has become excellent once again. So this is a spot where we might just want to isolate Mackenzie Gore. Let's see if the market works for us here. The Nats open up at plus 126. They're now plus 133. So a slight move towards the Padres, 6 cents. We'll see how much cash they have on them. Then we have this total 7.5, a huge move to the under. This opened up at 8 at a pick'em, and now it's a 7.5 minus 118 to the under, meaning sevens are very, very likely on the way. We get to the cash flow for the spot here. We have 56% of the tickets on the Padres, 69% of the cash on the Nationals, 59% of tickets on the under. It's a pretty big move for just 59% of tickets, but 78% of cash is on the under. SBK's on the Nationals, first 5. Mark A is on the Nationals, first 5. Justin McKelvey has the Padres minus 140 here. By the way, Not Flush Allen says, remember when I said that Detroit to win by 4 or more was only plus 160. He says, that's when I see that price, the team total of the favorite basically prints money. Important. And AM says Padres minus 1 looking good. Let's talk about Mackenzie Gore here. 3-7, 3.19 ERA, 1.19 whip. His last start was bad. He allowed 5 earned runs over 5 2/3 and 6-5 loss at the Dodgers. This should be a nice opportunity for him to bounce back. He has struggled on the road, though. 286 opponents batting average. He's had 9 starts. He allowed 22 earned runs. He's got that great 67 strikeouts over 49 1/3, but 56 hits he's allowed and 7 home runs. Righties 249, 672. There's nothing wrong with that split. Going up against Slick Nick Pivetta, coming off a 6-5 loss at home versus the Royals. He emotes on the mound. He always has. It doesn't help him. He got lost in the game. He was screaming and yelling. Face was flushed. He was pissed off. But here is where he has succeeded. Even though he did just struggle against the Royals, he does look like there could be some arm fatigue or something going on. He just certainly doesn't look as dominant as he's been. His splits are very good. Righties do get to him, 226, 718. I mean, do we count that as getting to him? So we will take a look at the righties in that lineup that could hurt him. The Nats are hitting 239, 694 OPS versus righties. Take it away for us here, Spooner. Nationals, Padres.
Yeah, this is a game. This is a game I was looking at and really wanted to just try to get onto the under. I saw an 8.5 juice originally, and I tried to get to it, and it wouldn't let me place the bet, and then I could only get 8s. And it's kind of frustrating seeing that line not being able to do anything with it. The reason I really like that, as you mentioned, Mackenzie Gore is a left-handed pitcher, and the Padres just have not been hitting lefties. They're 28th in baseball in the last 30 days. On the other side, Nick Pivetta, he's a guy that shuts down lefties really well. We saw him go 7 innings and only give up 2 earned runs to a really stacked Arizona's team that has a lot of stacked lefties. And I think he can do that here versus a similar built Washington team. They have a ton of lefties here. You need to have a pitcher that can put them down if you want to have success. One thing that holds me off that full game under is just I do not trust this Washington bullpen. And at the same time, the Padres bullpen has really underperformed my expectations for them the last 2 weeks or so. And that shows up by them being 27th in baseball to batters with their weighted on base percentage. That's terrible. I just didn't quite get there. I didn't want to have to not get the winning 8. And then looking at the way these bullpens are, I kind of looked at the first 5, and first 5 unders just aren't a way for me to attack it. So I trust Mackenzie Gore to pitch well. I trust Pivetta to pitch well. I don't have a bet.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just replying here very quickly to Isaiah. I screwed it up, Isaiah. It was a great day yesterday. 6-3 plus 3.25 units MLB, but gave a unit on the Astros. I got some back live, as I told you I would if I didn't catch the first 5. But AM says 70% of money on plus money Road Dog Nats. Books not showing any risk management towards it. Books seem to be comfortable in the line they're offering with all that money on the Nationals. Yeah, 69% of the cash on the Nationals. I mean, it tells me that the most vulnerable part of this baseball game is the Nationals bullpen. You know, Mackenzie Gore has some struggles with righties, so Tatis, Machado, and Bogarts, Iglesias, Maldonado. But again, they're not hitting lefties right now, so that doesn't concern me. And then Nick Pivetta, as you talked about, it's the righties that get to him. I mean, you look at these numbers against lefties this year, 205, 565 OPS. And you talked about this lineup filled with lefties. It's the back end of the lineup that has righties. So I don't know. I don't need to get involved here on the side. And then I would have to build a 2. I would be curious just to see how expensive this is before we move on to our next spot, and I will do that right now. The first 3 under 2. It's not that expensive. It's not that expensive. This is actually a flat 7.5 here. Interesting that'd be a flat 7.5 here, and then on the sharp offshores, it's 8 cents more expensive on the under. I mean, I presume, but that move was 40 minutes ago, so these kind of squarish books aren't moving here. So, all right. Okay, I'm interested in that first 3 under. I mean, when you see a sharp book move something 10 cents and the other books choose not to follow, what is your first instinct?
I always trust the sharp books. Like, you follow the money. When the squares do something that the sharps aren't doing, it's to attract public money. They get a lot more public action than the sharp books get. The sharp books get the bigger bets overall, and I think when they show restraint to move, it's because they don't want to take on any extra liability. I think we call them sharp because they know more and their odds makers are better. The way they simulate the game, it's just a better way of doing things. So I just trust them more, and if they're not moving, for a reason.
I think I should move on this first 3 under 2, and I shouldn't wait too long to do it. So I might move on this here. I also have that first 3 under 2.5 in the Diamondbacks game. And I'm interested in the under 8.5 in Boston LA Angels. I mean, we have both Troy and Nate thinking that they're going to smash. And I mean, if the Astros can't smash Kikuchi with their numbers against lefties, I find it difficult here to see who would. I mean, even going up against the Astros, this man's allowed 6 earned runs and 7 home starts. But I'll put my money where my mouth is, and we'll deal with the consequences. Let's roll on here. We have Jose getting set up backstage. Let's roll on. 6:35 p.m. Eastern. We have Texas Rangers 39-41, 16-25 on the road. The Baltimore Orioles 34-45, 17-20 at home. We're in Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's take a look at the weather here in Baltimore, Maryland. We have possible drizzle early in the game. Nothing too problematic. 96 Fahrenheit, feels like 102. We have 3.6 miles per hour left to right. Dies down to 1.8 miles per hour, but it's very sticky. It's very humid. We have Oriole Park plus 10% overall, plus 8% homers, plus 10% doubles and triples, and plus 5% singles. So let's get into the line history here for our next spot on the board. We have DeGrom, Young going up against each other, and we have an 8.5 minus 113 to the under. This opened up at 9 and moved to 8.5. We're seeing a lot of moves toward unders here, which is a bit of a surprise today with the hot weather. We have DeGrom and the Rangers at minus 144. I mean, that's extremely interesting. Extremely interesting. The idea that Brandon Young, who we haven't seen in the majors since April 26th, is more than capable of having a good start, because DeGrom has put together a bunch of great starts in a row. So let's just take a look at what Brandon Young did in the minor leagues. We know, and Spooner kind of mentioned it earlier, but when these pitchers go down to the minors and get a chance to kind of, understand what they weren't doing in the show and then get that next opportunity to get up into the show, a lot of times it's a wonderful spot to back them. They know how much is on the line for them. We had a Young in Norfolk, and he looked quite good. 5 starts, 27 and a third, 2.63 ERA, 0.84 whip, 27 strikeouts and 4 walks. This is a guy who was drafted out of high school. He wasn't even drafted. But didn't play college ball, came right out of high school. And I think that he is more than capable. And the market is telling us that he's more than capable of delivering here. And that's a surprise. So he had 2. Last we saw was April 26th. Say what, my man? Oh, okay. All right, no worries. We'll get Spooner here back in business. But with that, let's bring on our next guest, the co-host of the program, our producer. Please welcome to the show, fresh off a monstrous day yesterday, our friend Jose Bouquet to the show. Jose, how are you?
Jimmy, we're doing well. Good day. Thank you to our market lords for coming through for us yesterday. But a pretty good day yesterday, so can't complain.
Blank discretion says O's money line here. I mean, the market is indicating that is the spot. I'm surprised here. And as we did yesterday, it's important to trust it. We have 82% of the tickets on the Rangers, only 18% of the tickets on the Orioles, but 64% of the cash. And this is... AM says Rangers -1, books happy to take Orioles bets. See, I read it differently. I read it quite differently. I don't need, when 82% of the tickets are on the other side, I can understand when you see 69% of the cash. Was that 69 that you would think
64.
It should 64 that you think it should move a bit? I don't think it should move when 82% of the tickets are on that one side. Very interesting that we read that differently. With the splits, lefties hitting harder than money. AM, yeah, money moves lines. I get it. But when there's 18% of tickets and 64% of the cash, I don't expect the line to move. I expect it to stay still. So that's just my expectation here. Both bullpens are pitching very, very well right now. Jose, we'll backtrack through the earlier games, but take it away for us here. A very interesting spot, Rangers, Orioles.
Yeah, I thought this was a little sus. Because I would expect, what would you think this line would be? -170 with Brandon Young? I don't know how high.
I mean, I thought it would open at -150 and move to -175 if the Rangers were the bet.
I thought it would be like -170 range. Yeah, and the fact that it's -150, it stayed at -150 is a little worrisome. I kind of lean towards your side, unsurprisingly, because you are my gambling father. When it comes to the outlook on the market, I lean towards the Orioles here, and I don't have any bets so far in. The market's not really showing its hand like it was yesterday with all those like ridiculous market moves. A bet I'm proud of and I hated making was the Angels bet last night, because I was just put my faith in the market and let it work. So I was happy about that, but it just seems like the Orioles are live, but I need a little more, It would be nice if this was -140. If the line went down a little bit, if it got to like -140, -135, then it's immediately you have to bet the Orioles for me, but nothing yet.
What a fascinating situation. Spooner, take it away for us here, Rangers, Orioles.
There's no way you can bet the Rangers today, Jimmy. If this line opened at -142 last night and it was -180 right now, I would say it's a Rangers spot, but that's not what's happened. There's some respect for the Orioles in a way I don't quite understand. So I'm off this game. It's really fishy. I think it's Baltimore spot.
Clearly a Baltimore spot, but if we dive into that a little further here, and I know that AM has his reasoning why, it's not, I get it. But if we were to dive into that a little further, the idea is that this is not just a Baltimore spot, but Young's going to come up here and pitch well.
Yeah, you could see, I can already hear you ruminating your first 3 under here.
Yeah. TJ says he'll be square on Texas -1. So, TJ and AM on the Rangers. I mean, the only problem here, and again, I didn't move on the Royals under first 3 under and full game under yesterday. Troy Torrance moved on and he got that cash. Now I got paid with the Rays, but it's the weather. The weather, I want the weather to help a little bit, or at least not be very negative here. And I do fear this weather. I mean, are these bats so cold? They're not. They're not so cold. So, I mean, the Rangers bats, but again, we've talked on the show about what, the Rangers offense is a little stronger on the road, or quite a bit stronger on the road than it is at home. These bullpens are pitching very well. With the Marlins Giants spot. So what I need to do when I've got two and what I've been doing, and it worked yesterday, when the bullpens are pitching really well, the first bet has to be the full game, and the double up is the first three. If the bullpens are not pitching very well, then the first bet is the first three. So we utilize that in the Arizona White Sox game. Random gamer saying Orioles spot. It feels that way. But here I've got two bullpens pitching very well, which makes me want to move on unders here in this game. First three and full game.
I'm going to try to move on a first three under, but with my setup, I'm going to have to try to like live bet it like minutes before the game. So I'll see if I can get that in. It's not going to be an official bet for the record, but it'd be nice if I can get that in for the old wallet's sake, as we say.
Justin McKelvey on O'Hearn RBI at plus 180. All right, first three.
Gun to head. It's first three under. It would be the bet I make in this game. So I'd be right there with you.
But I have to double up with the very strong work from the bullpen. Is there a concern because we went to extras yesterday that the bullpen's tired?
For the Orioles, correct?
For both.
For both. I will tell you right now who went yesterday. Let me get my shit a refresh real quick. Yeah, I'll tell you, the Orioles bullpen today is going to be very interesting. Bautista, 21 pitches, threw on Thursday, 21 pitches, and then came back on Friday and threw 17. So should be available today, but a little sketchy, always a little sketchy. He got both saves on that 17th and the 21 pitches and the 17 pitches previously. Sir Anthony Dominguez, 30 pitches in the blown save in the loss, I should say. Gregory Soto, 15 pitches and a blown save. He'll be available, I'm sure. Keegan Aiken and Andrew Kittredge. Keegan will be available. Kittredge probably not. Threw 5 pitches and then 18 yesterday. So I'd be a little worried about the Orioles bullpen, honestly. As for Texas, Robert Garcia, 9. Luke Jackson, 15. Holby Milner, 26. And Chris Martin, 13. Probably all available today. Maybe not Holby Milner, but probably everyone else still available.
Okay. And Ron Lofton says this is his best full game under here today. Yes, Rem, good call. Let's do a regroup here. I'm not sure what's going on with Spooner. I'll reach out to him, but let's go back through these initial games. Diamondbacks, White Sox, just a monstrous move to the under while the show's on. I did get that first 300 2.5 at the same price, but a huge move towards the under. Are you moving in this game?
I have not moved on it. It does seem like a Diamondback spot. And by the way, obviously, how annoying is it, Jimmy, that, I forget what it was, 4-1, 3-1, whatever it was. I think it was 4-1 yesterday. You go 4-1, and I say my hypothetical $2,000 play is the White Sox, and of course that's the one you lose. And of course, Jimmy, I'm getting shit about it, which is just fucking hilarious. People are telling me that's why you don't put $2,000 on the White Sox. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, well, thanks for rubbing it in, I guess. You fuck. I have 4-1. But whatever, it's fine. But
apologies, Jimmy.
No worries, man. No worries, buddy.
Nice to see you, by the way, Spoons.
Yes, it's great to have Spooner rocking with us here today. But I mean, it is an important lesson that we all, that part of bankroll management is, look, I watch Troy step out of the 1 unit barrier all the time and go less than a unit and with great success. So there's different ways to succeed, but keeping everything, just the 1 unit size, you don't need to worry about
yes.
Yeah. But
that's why I do it. That's why everything I bet, no matter what it is my standard 20 to win 25 or 25 to win whatever the fuck. So, again, it was just, my hypothetical game playing to see if I can get better at picking the 1 bet. But all that to say is that I'm off Arizona and the White Sox here. I like I said, I like the White Sox or the Diamondback spot, but I don't want to lay it.
Pirates, Brewers, Skeens, Mizorowski, that first 3 under. By the way, there has been a 5-cent move finally on the White Sox, Arizona. It's now first 3 under, 2.5 minus 125, which I'm happy to see. But this was plus 105, and I didn't want it then. And the last time Skeens had a plus 105, I didn't bet it, and it cashed. This is now minus 120. First 3 under, 1.5 minus 120. Jose, you moving on Pirates, Brewers?
I'm going to tip my hat to Dabby Cab on this one. I obviously Dabby Cab, a capper we respect, and he's a great capper. Watch him on Saturdays, all that good stuff. He's a big proponent on these first 5 over 3.5s. No pitcher, as he said, no combination of pitchers should have a 3.5. It's very similar to my bullshit with the first 300 minus 300s, but we're getting a first 5 total of I'm getting one of 3 plus 115. That's nuts. I want to take that. I really do. I haven't moved on it yet. I'm going to sit here and ponder it more, I guess. I understand that both these guys are phenomenal young pitchers, are going to be in our lives for the next 10 years, probably, hopefully. I also understand that there's 82% of the bets, 83% of the money's on the under. We've gone down we've gone down from 7 to 6.5. But at one point, it went down to 6.5, came back up to 7, goes right back down to 6.5. It's a little sussy. I think the full game still can stay under, like Dabby Cab would say, but first 3, I think, goes over here. So I'm leaning first 3 over in Pittsburgh, Milwaukee. I haven't moved on it yet, but first 5 over 3, I should say, actually. First 5 over 3, which is, again, a nuts line at plus money, especially. It's just crazy. I also don't hate if people are moving on the Brewers here. I think I am also looking at the Brewers as well. I'm seeing minus like 110, minus 120 for Paul Skeens openers. I've been fading him kind of all year, and I just think he's just a great pitcher to fade because once he comes out, you just have to survive those innings. And you got the Pirates bullpen, which is horrible. So Brewers and the first 3 over is definitely a lean I'm looking towards, and I've been considering making official and probably will at some point during the show.
That'll be an exciting wager here. Red Sox, Angels.
I saw Troy said to bet the Red Sox today, and I've been blindly trusting Troy with some action, and it's been nice. You know, we've only lost like once, and it was on a half a run hooker on an over. So shout out to you, Troy. But yeah, I think the Red Sox are the spot today because they weren't yesterday. I'll tell you that. The line and everything was screaming out Angels and all that good stuff. Kikuchi is a pitcher they've seen plenty of times before. I'll pull up the numbers against Kikuchi real quick, but I'm just I'm worried about the Red Sox offense. You know, it does not help trading your best hitter in the middle of the season, and now they have fucking the rookies hitting lefties, which Alex Cora said, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Blah 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 blah, and now here we are. So I stayed off the game as of right now, but it does seem like a Red Sox spot. And by the way, Lynn, it's nice to see you, and it's nice to see my guy Renoir as well.
I am interested in this under 8.5. I wonder. I mean, it's not. I'm staring at a ton of under.
Red Sox.
Say what?
In Angels Red Sox.
Yes, but I mean, we just cashed on it yesterday. I don't really like going back to the well, but I mean, I just watched. I was in such a similar situation with Kikuchi's last start, and the ability of the Astros to hit lefties got me off of it, and he got there. Despite allowing 2 runs in the first inning, he was excellent. Quickly, we got to go quick hits because we don't have Spooner for much longer. Nationals, Padres. Jose, you moving on that?
No, we can roll right along. We can get back to the normal games because I don't have anything else really.
All right, well, let's roll. 6:40 p.m. Eastern with the Athletics, 32-49, 17-22 on the road at the Detroit Tigers, 50-30, 27-12 at home. Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Let's get into the weather here in Detroit. 79 Fahrenheit, feels like 82, 6.3 miles per hour left to right across the diamond. Let's get into the press the wrong button there. Let's get into the ballpark pal here for Comerica, and it is plus 5%. It's minus 7% home runs, plus 9% doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles. Line history wise, we have this total sitting at 8.5 minus 112 to the over. This opened up at 8.5. It moved to 8 at 10:32 this morning, right back up to 8.5 just around noon. So overall, we've had 2 cents of movement towards the over. On the money line here for this one, we have Flaherty and the Tigers at minus 175. Opened up at minus 160. 15 cents of movement towards the Detroit Tigers. Chappie Funk on the Tigers double result yesterday. We have Mark on the A's first 5 plus a half, and Stacks play of the day number 1 is here, and it is the over 8.5 today in Detroit, Oakland. Shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
We have Jacob Lopez, the lefty on the hill, and he's one of these guys that's come up from AAA, and he's been very good in that AAA ballpark, and that was something that Spooner got my attention with, and it's been very helpful. But on the road, it's a different story. He's pitched in 5 games. He started 3. He's only gone 13 innings overall. Opponents hitting .333 against him. He's allowed 19 hits and 12 runs in those 13 innings. Righties hit him quite a bit harder than lefties. We take a look at this Tigers lineup. You have Torres and Jones, 1-2. Torkelson, Perez will hit from the right side. Dingler and Baez. So just 3 lefties in that lineup. So it won't be easy for him. And then you have Jack Flaherty coming off getting absolutely destroyed at the Rays, 14-8. He went 2 1/3, 8 earned runs, 3 Ks and 3 walks. At home this year, he's been much better. 8 starts. He's only allowed, well, I shouldn't say only, because he's allowed 9 home runs in his 27 hits. 1 out of every 3 hits he's allowed has gone yard, but he's only allowed 27 hits and 43 1/3, and he's been much better here at Comerica. The A's are hitting right now, 256, 749 OPS. Tigers, 239, 716. The A's bullpen has been bad, 5.76 ERA last 30 days, but so has this Tigers bullpen. And when we take a look at the cash flow, we have 61% of the tickets on the Tigers, just 50% of the cash. So bigger bets coming in on the Athletics. 78% of the tickets on the over, but just 50% of that cash on the over. Very, very interesting situation. Spooner, take it away. Tigers A's.
So you just said interesting situation. I thought that kind of lent me to believe the books like the under in this game. And looking at this, I look at Jacob Lopez, and he's a guy that has a ton of success against lefties, a whip under 1 on the season. You talk about him struggling on the road. He just went to Kansas City, pitched 6 innings, didn't give up an earned run. I think this is a guy that can really get lefties out. And when you look at this Tigers lineup, it's all the good bats are lefties. Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, Colt Keith, Parker Meadows, Trey Sweeney. There's so many lefties, and he's got 2++ pitches. It's his fastball and his slider. And talking to our guy, Dabby Cab, I asked him, how does a lefty get a lefty out? And he says a slider. It's the hardest pitch for a lefty to hit off a lefty. So if he can control those big bats, I really think Jacob Lopez can pitch well here at Comerica. I didn't want to try to back the Athletics. I went back and forth with how I wanted to do it. I took the Detroit Tigers team total under. I believe Flaherty can probably pitch well in this game, and I believe the Tigers get the win. I don't think I have to worry about them coming out for the 9th inning. So I'm taking an under 4.5 for 8 innings of baseball. And I just described to you why I think this starting pitcher, that it's a rookie, can pitch really well against this lineup. I think the Tigers can win this game without scoring 5 runs, and that gets me paid, and that's why I bet it. I paid minus 125 juice. I think you can get it minus 122 was the number I was looking at right before the show.
Wow, what an interesting breakdown when I was not expecting. But at this point, we expect 3 lefties in that Tigers lineup. That's the expected lineup. Very, very interesting breakdown.
What were you using for an expected lineup? I have Swish up right now for it.
Oh, I'm using RotoWire. They only have Riley Green, McKinstry, and Meadows as the only lefties.
It's a really odd difference seeing the amount of lefties that's listed over here. But two different sources. We'll see when the actual lineup comes out. Either way, the best bets are not going to be in the lineup. If Kerry Carpenter and Parker Meadows aren't in this lineup, I'm much more comfortable facing the Tigers. And especially if I'm asking them not to score runs.
No, it's a fascinating breakdown. I'm not trying to poke holes in it. It is a very fascinating breakdown. You're right. He did shut down the Royals very, very easily. Because the road start before that was against the Jays, who were raking lefties, and they destroyed them. But that was a really nice bounce back start. He's actually had 3 really nice starts in a row now, 18 innings, and he's allowed 1 earned run. So I can understand it. 23 strikeouts and 6 walks in his last 3 starts. Jose Bouquet, take it away. Athletics Tigers.
I'm off the game to make it pretty quick. Jack Flaherty's a pitcher that's frustrated me this year. There are games and I haven't really bet on or against him really. I'd have to go back through my records and such, but there are games where I'm like, oh my God, he's such an easy fade, and then I'll want to bet him or bet against him. He'll dominate. There'll be games like last week where I'm like, oh, he kind of seems like the guy, blah blah blah, and then he gets crushed. So I've quietly just like kept my tabs on Jack, being like, oh, did I like him today? And then I look at his box score after, and he's like, oh, he got fucking killed. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm off the Jack Flaherty bandwagon. I was a really big Jack Flaherty guy when he was in St. Louis. I even bought in when he was in Baltimore. I'm out. I'm completely done with the Flaherty train. So I'm not going to try to catch the falling knife or try to find out when he pitches well for me today. So no action.
Speaking of being off of a pitcher's train, I am on the Gavin Williams train. I've been on it for some time. It's cashing me first 3 unders. It's when I don't believe in the offense, it's fine. Because I've been succeeding with him, and I'm doing it here. But I'm also fading Max Scherzer. Verlander is just making me so much money fading him. And I may be falling into that spot where here comes another, first ballot Hall of Famer that's done. And I want
just ages. Fuck these old guys.
I want to fade him so badly. And that's what I did. Now, I wanted this yesterday, but again, looking at yesterday's card, there was a ton of money that I left on the table. In the end, 6-3, 3.25 units in the black, I'll just take it. But the market told us that the Jays were going to win, and I still, waiting for Lauer to turn into a pumpkin. The Detroit, Oakland over was just screaming, but I'm trying not to let that influence me too much, and it's difficult. But here and in general, I'm winning a baseball because I'm not coming to the show with 10 bets. I'm really listening and allowing things to materialize and letting the market marinate and trying to put it all together. I waited for a sign. The sign came, and then I pounced. I probably should have moved on it earlier. I didn't. But Max Scherzer, I think, is going to be – his thumb is still hurting. He says that.
Did you read the quote on Fangraphs?
No.
I got it.
Yeah, go ahead, Spoon. So there's a little news section on Fangraphs, and this quote is just crazy.
I don't have Fangraphs up. I have a CBS article, but it says my stuff is fine. Yeah. Scherzer from Sunday during the 4-2 loss. I'm trying everything I can to manage this thumb and just make sure I can recover. There's no knowing. Just have to get out there. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I knew that quote.
30 to 40 pitches is all he's worked up to. So the next step, if the thumb is letting him, would be maybe 50, 55 pitches. I expect Spencer Turnbull to be available for long relief. I think that's probably going to be the setup. He pitched, I believe, 4 days ago now. I think that probably is going to be the Blue Jays line of attack for this game.
Turnbull concerns me a little bit.
Do you want me to go ahead and take it away, or?
Absolutely. I doubled up on the Guardians first 3 and first 5. I got worse lines than I could have had I moved earlier. But I did want a sign from the books. And, this was actually moving towards Scherzer for a while, no longer. This opened up at minus 101, plus 106. It was plus 108 at one point, and I was like, oh God, I got to move as fast as possible. From a total perspective as well here, we have an 8. It's minus 111 to the over. This did get up to 8.5 for a while, but it came back to 8. So overall, there's been 3 cents of movement towards the under. When we get to the cash flow here very quickly, Spooner, let me just get the cash flow out for everybody. We have 64% of the tickets on the over and 92% of the cash. 57% of the tickets on the Jays, but 54% of the cash on the Guardians. And Gavin Williams gets hit by right-handed bats. We know that. We know that he can get the lefties out. And that's a danger against the Jays. That's the problem. Bichette, Guerrero, Kirk, Springer, Clement, and Straw. So, I mean, that is an uncomfort here, clearly. But I just trust him. He's pitching well right now. I know that was a great opportunity for him at Oracle, and he delivered. And I expect him to pitch better than Scherzer. That's it, just better than Scherzer. Maybe with the small pitch count, I only should have done a first 3, but I'm on the Guardians first 3 and first 5. Take it away, Spooner.
Yeah, I liked that Guardians side. I looked at it last night. You could get the Guardians at minus 110. And I kind of went back and forth with it, but the right-hander hitting for the Blue Jays just scares me versus Gavin Williams. He's got a 1.73 whip versus righties this season, over 4 xFIP. I think this is a guy that really struggles with righties, and I think the Blue Jays bats can get to him. Everything I just said about Scherzer, I don't trust him to pitch well. Not a big Turnbull guy. I don't expect him to pitch that well either. I believe this is an over spot. I paid minus 115 for the over 8. This is a spot where I think both of these teams are liable to give up runs. The Blue Jays bullpen is not one I trust that much. Their ERA over the last 14 days is 20th. Their xFIP is 27th. I don't think they have things figured out that well. I really like this over here. I think Gavin Williams is just liable to get touched, and that's what took me off the Guardians. Seeing the line move towards the Guardians, I would say is good for you, but I just can't get there myself.
Yeah, I get it. The splits are a concern. It just wasn't. When the market, showed that it was the right move, I want to fade Scherzer so badly. So badly. I mean, he's just rushing back in. Take it away, Jose, my man. Blue Jays Guardians.
I will say I am on officially. I just bet the Brewers money line full game minus 103. Continuing to fade my guy Paul Skeens. And I am on the first 5 over 3 plus 113. If I look like an asshole and it's 0-0 after 5, that's fine. But 3 at plus money, you probably won't see all year again. So we'll see.
Well, it's funny because the 3.5, that you talked about with Dabby Cab, he's on the over 3.5 in our final game on the card, and that's the game where I wanted the first 3 under more than any of them. The Cabrera Logan Webb start.
Yeah, and I could see why. Ballpark, and you have a competent pitcher in Cabrera, so I understand that.
But yeah.
You mentioned the market in this game, though, the over money. It's just I talked about it yesterday with that over in Tampa Bay. You do not really, and this is the second one in the last 2 days, I guess. I haven't really kept up too track, but you don't really see all that money on the over in these type of games. It's been increasingly rare. Maybe it's being bet more. There's one other one in Colorado that seems to be bet a lot, and some scrolling Minnesota. But otherwise, it's basically all under money. And we have 64% of the bet, 92% of the money on the over in this game. And this line, has it moved? Like, there's been a couple cents of juice back and forth. I'm even seeing at our friends at Penny, they even went up to 8.5 at one point and came right back down. But it seems like this is an under type of game, and I don't want to take an under with Max Scherzer. I'll be honest. 3 innings, 4 innings, however many innings he's going to throw, it's going to be sweaty. I kind of like Spencer Turnbull. I think this is more of a fate of just the Guardians' offense is not as good as, I don't know. It's just not that good, I guess. I should just leave it at that. And I think Gavin Williams can hold down Toronto. So under is probably going to be a bet on, or is definitely going to be a move on this game for me.
That's what I am saying. Under looks incredible. There's a lot of money on this over. Let's
under 8 minus 105. Officially.
So, and you're moving on it.
Yes, I just hit submit.
So we have Spooner and Jose heads up on the total.
God damn it! No, I didn't. God damn it! I was researching and I didn't hear Spoons on the over. Fuck.
If you haven't pressed the button, you don't need to make it official.
No, that's already done. It's already at the button.
It's all right, Jose.
All right. Well, we have a lot.
I get taken to the fucking cleaners by 2 dudes this year consistently, and I should get a gift package at the end of the year because I've lined their pockets by fading them. In other word terms, fucking Morgan Spooner and fucking Troy Torrance. Both of these motherfuckers I fade unknowingly, and I put money in their pocket.
Redbeard looking at the Guardians, sports scientist Jacob on the over. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. 7:10 p.m. Eastern with the Atlanta Braves at the New York Mets. These Mets 27-12 at home. Braves have struggled all year on the road, 15-26 there. Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's get into the weather here in New York. We have, wrong direction. We have 93 Fahrenheit, feels like 96, 6.3 miles per hour left to right and slightly in. And then it becomes fully in. It gets down to 5.4 miles per hour. Another opportunity for Didier Fuentes. Now, I faded Didier Fuentes and was successful doing it in his first start. I wonder what he has in store for us in his second start. And Clay Holmes has not been pitching well. I don't know if this is a tricky game. But BJ is all over the Mets max bet. Citi Field's minus 9% overall, minus 1% homers, minus 22% doubles and triples, and minus 4% singles. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the 9 minus 115 to the over. This opened up at 9.5. It has gone down to 9 twice now, but this time it is stuck. Minus 115 to the over. So we have a move towards the under. And then on the money line here, we have the Mets at minus 147. They opened up at minus 134. So we've seen 13 cents of movement towards them. We take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 60% of the tickets and 59% of the cash on the New York Mets, 67% of tickets and 74% of cash on the under. Stacks play today number 2 is Acuna Jr. over 1.5 bases. Robert Franklin on the over 9, but a max play by BJ on the Mets. Truth teller also on these New York Mets. Fuentes in that 6-2 loss allowed 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 Ks and 1 walk. He's a 20-year-old phenom. And then Clay Holmes he's got great numbers on the year. So I don't want to get too caught up. He's been very good at home. And the poor performance where he walked 6 batters over 4 2/3 was on the road. His splits are fine. The Braves are not hitting righties hard. 240, 690 OPS last 30 days. Mets 251, 816. And the Braves have a bullpen advantage here. So take it away here. We only have Spooner for 25 more minutes. We'll let him open up these games. Take it away, Spooner.
Yeah, I have a bet in this game. I moved on the Mets last night at minus 144, just the money line. I didn't feel the need to take the -1. I think this could be a 1-run game, but I really expect the Mets to get the win here. As you're talking about, we have the youngest pitcher in baseball on the mound, Didier Fuentes, and this is a guy 3 years of college baseball, so a mature guy coming in, or not 3 years of college baseball. Sorry. Having my wrong pitcher pulled up now.
I was about to say, Didier Fuentes doesn't sound like a college baseball player. Sounds like one of my fucking cousins. I was going to say, what school did this guy go to? I'm very interested.
Straight from Jose's neck of the woods here. And has excelled through the minors very quickly. He hasn't had a chance to pitch with the AAA ball very long. And that AAA ball is the only ball in the minors that's the same as the major league. And this is a guy that all 3 stops, he had really good control of the baseball. And he had a walk and 6 hits in this first outing versus a really weak Marlins team. That tells me he's really just trying to put the ball over the plate because this guy has really good stuff, a 96-mile-an-hour four-seamer, a sweeper, a curve. The sweeper is a slider. It's a really nice mix, but they asked him to get a split finger pitch going, and just as fast as he came up through the minors, he didn't really have a chance to develop it yet. He threw 1 in his first start, and I don't expect to see it much here. I think this is a guy 2 years from now when he comes back up, he's going to look a lot better. That split finger is going to be developed. He's going to have 4 real pitches to be able to get guys out. Right now, I think he's just comfortable throwing the slider and the four seam. And when batters like the Mets can just pick 2 pitches and sit on one, they're going to be able to get to him. And I think it's going to be much worse than what the Marlins did. This is a spot for me. I had to bet the Mets last night when I saw it. I was hoping for more market movement towards them, some respect, but it is what it is. I think Clay Holmes is a pitcher that's pitched really well this season. The addition of that changeup to his pitch mix looks great. Obviously, he just saw this team, but it's always that bounce back thing, and gave up 3 earned last time. I think he can pitch better at home here. So, yeah, I got the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's afraid of this Braves lineup right now. I can understand the thought process around it. Jose Bouquet, Braves Mets.
Spoons, when was the last time you took a minus 140? I feel like you never take them, so it must be a sign of confidence here.
There's been some heavy study from Spoons on these money lines. Were you here for those breakdowns, Jose?
I heard the -1 versus the -1.5 one.
Why don't you just touch on it quickly, Spooner? It's very important.
I don't have the number right here, but the big finding here was just kind of like comparing the -1 to the -1.5 and the money line, and just trying to see, is it really beneficial to bet a -1? And what I found until you got to about -170, shout out Kyle, he made a huge spreadsheet for all this. Like at -170 was the real cutoff where -1 really kind of started to become more profitable than the money line. And -145, so many baseball games come down to 1 run. So you're putting that push on the board a lot more, and it can be helpful for your bankroll if you have a smaller bankroll. But I think just looking for the wins is more important. Once you get up past that -170 range, if you look at the -1s, the money line, and then compare that to the -1.5, it's just extraordinary how much money is lost on the -1.5s. I think if at the time Kyle did the study, if you had bet every favorite on the -1.5, you'd be down almost 100 units on the season. The -1.5s up in that -200 range where people like to do it a lot, you'd be down like 20 units on the season. I think 20 units more than you would be just doing the -1s, and the -1s would be down 20. So what I learned there is just, I'm not betting -1.5s. It's not a thing for me. And I'm going to bet -1s with a lot of juice, but I want to extend my juice up. I think baseball, you have to take on more than what you necessarily have to do with college football and college basketball. And just looking at the numbers, how it falls out, this is a market where the -145 home team with the better pitcher, everything makes sense to me. Even though it's not a ton of movement, the books are moving it towards the Mets, which make me feel comfortable because this is a spot where if it's moving to the Braves, maybe they know something we don't. But I like this a lot. I'm on the Mets.
The -1.5. Now, this was as of a week ago or so. You'd be down, if you bet every favorite on the -1.5 line, you'd be down 110 units, 406 and 600. But I mean, if you bet every favorite, money line, you'd be down 34 units, -1, you'd be down 42 units. So, but it's the numbers that Spooner was talking about, the -200 and up. This was so interesting and important information for us. And shout out to Kyle Kerms for, crunching the numbers. The -200 and up which is that cash cow range, is if you bet every minus 200 up money line, you'd be up 10.1 units. That surprised me, but and I know I wish we had Spooner for longer because we don't really have time to wax. But the -1 is up 10.5 units, so slightly more, and then that run line is down 11.1 units. When I started heavy with MLB, down in Costa Rica, just doing a publicly heavy. I mean, I always bet it, but doing a publicly heavy, there were 2 cappers that were succeeding every year, and I was really interested when I went through their numbers. 95% of their bets were on favorites. 95% of their bets, and I was astonished that they could succeed like that. But the key is, and it's what Spooner is doing on these favorites, is you have to get in the night before. Now, usually there'll be a big move or a bigger move, but that was their key. They're like, I bet it at 4 p.m. the day before the game, and that's the key. You got it, because you'll see 50, 60 cent line moves that can make everything out of whack here. But that's a great stuff. Great stuff there. Spooner on the Mets -144. A lot of bullish cappers in the chat on the Mets. And I'll take a closer look after the show. It wasn't on my radar, but I'll take a closer look. Are you guys ready to rock onto Yankees Reds?
Yeah, I'm just going to use the Mets in a parlay, but that's it for me.
Let's roll. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. The Yankees and the Reds, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. When weather here for Great America Park, we have possible rain throughout the game, but it's very light, but it's throughout. 3.92 Fahrenheit, feels like 100, 3.6 miles per hour to right field, and dies down to almost nothing. Then we have a ballpark pal for Great America, plus 13%, plus 30% home runs, -6% doubles and triples, and even on singles. And BJ saying baseball is a juice sport. People try to get cute to keep juice down. The main goal is to win the bet. I hear what you're saying, BJ, but the stats prove that the -1 is right there. It depends on what.
So much less juice you had to pay, like less dollars paid to get that outcome. Because to bet the -200 versus the -1, you're generally paying 50 cents more in that range, depending on the total. Sometimes it's a little less.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm still a -1 guy, like others are in the chat, but it was extremely interesting and helpful information. So we have Max Fried here going up against Brady Singer. Brady Singer coming off of he was fine in the start, 6-1 loss to the Cardinals, but 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 1 walk. He pitched very well, and he is not being. He's not. I don't know if the Royals knew more or know more than we do, but he just hasn't taken that step that we thought he was more than capable of taking. Lefties, righties, splits are fine. For Max Fried, 9-2, 2.05 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 7 Ks, no walks, 5-3 loss at home versus the Orioles in his last start. On the road, he's had 8 starts. He's only allowed 13 earned runs. Lefties are hitting him with legitimacy, 207, 700. He's getting righties out. You're not going to see very many lefties go up against Max Fried, so he's in a pretty nice situation. Reds aren't hitting lefties at all, 224, 659 OPS. Yankees are not hitting that hard either, 239, 726 OPS, and both bullpens have been struggling. This was one of my 3 losses yesterday, the over 9.5, and I didn't deserve it. Even when it went to extras, I did not deserve it, and I didn't get it. We have the Yankees right now -199. They opened up at -210. So we've had a slight move towards Cincinnati Reds. From a total standpoint here, we have the 9 -111 to the over. This opened up at 9.5. It was pretty heavily juiced to the under. And the initial move was towards the over, but now we have a half run move to the under. And then when we get to the cash flow here, we have 76% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the Yankees. Slight move towards the Reds. 67% of tickets, 72% cash on the under. Spooner, take it away here for us, Yankees Reds.
Yeah, I looked at this game and I see Max Fried, a pitcher everybody is really in love with, and a guy in Brady Singer who people are saying is not pitching that well. But if we look at the season, I don't think the numbers necessarily support that. Brady Singer hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any game this season. I know he doesn't look as good as he did in Kaufman, and that's because he's a fly ball pitcher. And Kaufman contains fly balls. It's the hardest. I think this year it's ranked 30th out of all the parks to hit home runs in. And obviously, Great American is not built the same. It was built for home runs to be hit in. So people are just scared of him. I look at Max Fried, and this guy gave up 3 earned runs in his last start, 2 earned runs in the start before that, 2 earned runs in the start before that. And then 4 starts ago, he gave up 6 earned. This is a guy that is susceptible to runs. You put him in the most offensive environment he's seen. I really think he can give up runs here. And I look at this Yankees lineup over the last 14 days. They're 25th in baseball in WOBA and 25th in baseball in weighted runs created plus, and their bats are not hot right now. Brady Singer, I just said it, is a guy I can find a way to trust. I think specifically the Yankees struggle with soft tossers. If we look back to that Kyle Hendricks start, he went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, only walked 1 guy. And it frustrates this lineup. This lineup was built to hit 97, 98, because that's what they're going to face in the postseason, where this team was built to play. And Brady Singer, this point in his career, is only pitching 91 with that sinker. And I really think the soft tossers are going to give Max Fried a hard time, or give the Yankees a hard time. And I think the Cincinnati bats can get 1 or 2 off Max Fried. I took the plus 2.5 at minus 135. Plus 2.5 runs for a home team that I'm going to get every at-bat for. I don't trust this Yankees bullpen. I see a lot of ways to get this. This is a bet I've only ever made with the Rockies, and generally live doing it, because you generally can't get a number like this, but so many games end on 1 run. If you want to move it past 1 run, so many games end on 2 runs. So we're taking probably 70% of the baseball games played out of this. So the Yankees have to destroy Brady Singer. And I don't think they can. I don't think they will do that. And I think these Reds bats can get enough runs to keep me in this game. I like this bet a lot.
It's a wild number that you can receive, plus 2.5, and it's not as expensive as the Mets money line. It's just absolutely wild with the way Fried's been pitching. AM is on the over 9 in this one. Jose Bouquet, take it away. Yankees, Reds. You're muted, my man.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, I obviously lean Reds here. I've been a Reds guy all year. I think they're going to make the playoffs still. Shout out to my guy Terry Francona, and shout out to their lefties that they have. Brady Singer is not a guy that I really love on this team, honestly. But minus 210, I think, is a little excessive. So I'd lean Reds, but nothing here for me.
Spooner, what do you make of this total dropping? I mean, clearly it's saying that Singer's going to be just fine here. The Yankees bats are quiet. Are you surprised that it's dropped from 9.5 to 9?
That's a good signal. I'm not that surprised. I think the rain being in the weather forecast maybe has something to do with that. I don't know. I don't pay that close attention specifically to the totals here at this ballpark, but a lot of ballparks, they have an opening that'll be on that 9.5 or an 8.5, and it'll be juiced a certain way and at open. And that's the bookmakers telling you like which way the juice is, what they expect. You'll notice it with like Toronto, they'll like juice the 8.5 to the over when they expect the roof open, and the 8.5 the under with that roof closed kind of thing. I think this is a situation where they're respecting Brady Singer. I'm not sure. It also could be something with a bat being out of the lineup for one of the teams, but I'm not making too much of it. I like the way it's moving. It helps my bet.
Yes, I use Penny's openers, so I'm not just grabbing numbers out of thin air, but and I know that you focus on the legal books, and all good, my man. We have Spooner moving on the Reds plus 2.5 at minus 135. I'm going to need a little bit more time on the spot, but that's a good looking number. When did you get it? What time?
Around when I texted it to you. I got my first 2 plays, the Cubs money line and the Mets last night around midnight, but all that I texted around probably 10 o'clock this morning or so. I believe I got that number off ESPN Bet. I posted it.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice job. It's
I
only
noticed
20
at that
cents
same
more.
time, Bet365 was 20 cents more expensive than what it was on ESPN Bet, and that was part of the final driving factor.
And it hasn't moved. It's still at that minus 155. Nice job with that 2.5. Let's roll on. We have Mariners Twins, and a lot of us waiting for George Kirby to stand up. Seattle Mariners, Minnesota Twins were at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mariners better on the road than they've been at home, and the Twins 3 games over 500 at home. Let's take a look at the weather. We've heard Cappers talking about there's going to be rain in Minnesota today. We have light rain throughout the game, and opens up with 75% precipitation, and it sticks around. I'm not sure how big that's going to be. 9.8 mile per hour in throughout the game here. Let's take a look at the Ballpark Pal expectation here of Minnesota and Target, plus 8% overall. Plus 8% overall, plus 1% homers, plus 7% doubles and triples, and plus 5% singles. We have Kirby and Joe Ryan going up against each other. Let's take a look at the line history. We'll start with this total that we have a 7.5. It's minus 107 to the over. This opened up at 8, minus 113 to the under. There was a slight, tiny move to the over for the first 7 or 8 hours. We're talking a cent or two before it moved down to 7.5. It jumped back up to 8 at 8:40 this morning. But now we are here at 7.5 minus 107 to the over. Take a look at the money line here for this one. We have the Minnesota Twins at minus 125. They opened up at minus 124. This line came out at 6:07 p.m. yesterday offshore. It stayed. The lowest it got was minus 120. The highest it's got minus 126. So just no volatility here in this line at all. Johnny K, by the way, saying hammering Diamondbacks. That game popping off here shortly. Justin McKelvey on the over 7.5 here. So take a look at the cash flow for the Mariners Twins. We have 68% of the tickets, 67% of cash on the Mariners, 55% of the tickets, and 84% of cash on the over. Kirby 1-3, 6.16 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. He's allowed 7 home runs in just 30 2/3. He allowed 2 more home runs in that 9-4 win at the Cubs. On the road this year, he's allowed 11 earned runs in 15 2/3, and lefties are annihilating him. 360, 1.061. Trip Carroll, don't worry about any books. Books don't offer it because it's very helpful. So a lot of books, you have to build your own. Some books, when you build your own, you'll get a better line than what they're giving, which is just ludicrous. I'll pop it into the chat. This is a courtesy of Mr. Ron.
I already did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Thank you. There's the -1 line there. That's the, and it's really simple. I mean, it all depends. You go to American, at least that's easiest for me. I go to risk amount, and then you just, put in your unit size, tells you exactly what to bet. But we're waiting for Kirby to start delivering. And it wasn't a bad start against the Cubs. And it is lefties that are, annihilating them. So Wallner, Larnack, and Clemens. Now you can expect Castro and Brooks Lee to both hit from the left-hand side because of Kirby's struggles. Then you have Joe Ryan, 3.06 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. He has been quite good at home. Basically 7 starts, but one was a game that had, he came in the middle of because of a suspension of the game, a weather issue, and then they came back later and played it, and he started. He's allowed 14 earned runs in 7 starts, a 180 opponent's batting average, just 4 home runs allowed in 38 in the third. He's coming off a 17-6 loss at home versus the Brewers. He got only touched up for 3 earned runs over 5 in the third, but he didn't look very good. And his splits are great. Mariners are hitting right now, 267, 759 OPS versus righties last 30 days, while the Twins 247, 740, and both bullpens have been bad. The Twins bullpen's been the worst in baseball over the last 30 days, and the Mariners bullpen has been very mediocre. Spooner, let's hear your thoughts on Mariners Twins, and then the rest of the card, what you are making official, my friend.
All right. So I look at this game, and it's lined in a way that I feel like they're fishing for Seattle Mariners money. The Minnesota Twins have not been a fun team to back of recent. And I think a lot of people really hold on to George Kirby's name. I look at the last start versus the Cubs, and that was 2 starts after getting hit in the face with a baseball. He'd been working back like from injury as it was, and he was rehabbing right there in the majors. So like nothing's been really in a way that's allowed him to get into a rhythm as a pitcher. But when I see him get his walks back down to 1, that tells me he's putting the ball where he wants to. Cubs lineup is really good. They got 7 hits off him. I have them as a better lineup than what I do the Twins. I think George Kirby can pitch well here, and I think Joe Ryan really can too. I lean to this under, and I lean to the Mariners. I thought if the Twins were going to win this game that the line should have moved more than this, though, and I don't know what to make of the market necessarily on it, so I don't have anything on it. My last bet of the day is the Chicago Cubs. Matthew Boyd's on the mound. He's a left-hander going up against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals numbers look decent against them if you just look at them 10th in WRC plus versus left-handed pitching. But if you look at the actual starters they've seen, they only got 1 off of Abbott. They only got 1 off of Kershaw. They got 4 off of Robleski, a rookie for the Dodgers. They got none off Noah Cameron. I think a decent lefty can not necessarily blank this Cardinals team, but I think they can keep them down to 2 runs or so. And I think that's what Matthew Boyd will do here today. Busch is generally a pretty pitcher-friendly park, and I think he always excels in pitcher-friendly parks. I look at Eric Fetty, and this is the main reason I'm betting this game. I think this Cubs lineup is just going to go to work on Eric Fetty. It's a guy that struggles versus both sides of the plate. His xFIP borders 5, which is just a terrible number. He gave up 3 to Milwaukee, 3 to Baltimore, 4 to Detroit, and those are lineups that I have on similar level with this Cubs lineup. But on the full season, these Cubs bats are top 5 in baseball in just about any metric, and I think they're going to get to Fetty here today. If you saw anything of this Cubs game last night, PCA dropped a ball, or he caught a ball in the outfield very nonchalantly with a runner on second base. And Mason Wynn got the sign from his third base coach and just absolutely took off. Scored from second on a 1-out fly ball to the outfield that is just unexcusable. So I expect PCA to really want to come in, get some retribution for himself today. I see that kid as just a spark plug for this lineup. Nico Horner the same way. He got a home run yesterday. I think this Cubs lineup is ready to win. They wanted that win yesterday. They didn't get it. I was on the Cardinals. I was happy to see it. So I think this is the perfect spot. The Cubs bouncing back off a loss. I think if you bet them every time, I got tagged in a post this morning of X, and I think it was like up 11 units or something on the season, just backing them after a loss. And I think this is a really good spot to do it.
What line did you get on the Cubs?
-125. I tweeted it out. I don't know where that's at now.
Okay, you're in business, man. That'll give us lots to talk about there for that one. And Spooner has done work. Thank you for all of this, Spooner, my man, filling in for Wine Time Sports. To review Morgan's action, Reds plus 2.5 at -135. Blue Jays, Guardians over 8 at -115. Tigers team total under 4.5 -125. Mets -144, and Cubs -125. Spooner, fantastic work, my man. I'm going to pop your X handle in the chat and let people know where they can find you, my man.
Yeah, you can find me over here on Pub Sports Radio a few times a week. Me and Wine Time are just putting in work on Sunday. It's been a lot of fun doing walk-off wagers with him and betting with the bag with you. You can also find me over on the Sauce Network with Kyle Kerms breaking down baseball. Do a few midnight streams a week with them. So you can find me either place. All my bets are always on X for free. It's nothing being sold there or anything like that. I always get messages asking for better picks. There's no better picks. They're the ones there. I'm pretty excited, having a good week. Hope everyone has good luck today. Gamble responsibly, as always. Jimmy, thanks for having me on. Jose, good luck today with everything except that one under.
Great job, Spooner, joining us and heading back to work. Great guy. Jose, let's go back to this Mariners Twins spot. It's a fascinating one. We have no movement towards the Twins, despite Kirby's inflated numbers. We have a total here at 7.5. That's when it initially came out, it was juiced to the under 8 at -113, so it's already juiced. But it feels like this is going to be a low scoring game. We do have weather issues here. AM on the under 7.5. Yes, Cheshire, he'll be here tomorrow. Boban will be here tomorrow. So take it away for us, Jose. Mariners Twins.
I've got nothing on the game. I love both these two pitchers. I'll be watching this game. This is one of those pitching matchups that maybe the guy that is just coming off of watching the NBA season doesn't find too appealing, but baseball capper every day. I love both these pitchers. I can't wait to watch this game, but I probably won't be on it. I'd lean under with you, AM, and I understand if anyone else is on it because both these pitchers are, again, favorites of mine that I like to watch and I think are good pitchers. And, Kirby's slow start to get back is a little worrisome, but, at the end of the day, I'll trust him, and I'll trust the offenses to not come through for either one of these teams because I don't like either one. Except for Cal Raleigh. Jimmy, mini trivia question of the day. Who has the most home runs before the All-Star break? It's not hard.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah, Barry Bonds, 39 in 2001, I believe it was. Cal Raleigh has 19 games left to hit 8 home runs.
To pass him, yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking sicko. It's not gonna finish the full season, but passing a Barry Bonds record? Come on.
It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I have some interest in the first 3 under here in this one, although I don't know if I'm going to have enough that correlates. So it's going to take me a little bit longer here, but I have interest in that first 3 under. Let's roll on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. I'm not exaggerating when I talk about the difficulty of the 2 hours after the show and going over all the notes and looking at everything again. And
I respect that you do that because I'm the exact opposite way. After the show, I don't want to see any of the stats. I put all my bets in. I don't want to see it ever again, and I'm just ready to get to the games.
Well, I mean, part of it is cutting. I cut down to 10 bets yesterday. And in baseball, I left money on the board on this Tampa Bay, Kansas City under. But I had the Rays money line, and I loved the breakdown, and I was concerned about Bubic, and I was concerned about the weather. And what's becoming so real to me here is that the Tampa Bay Rays have an enormous advantage now with this little ballpark that they're not in right now. I know they're in compensating, but because their pitchers are now used to pitching in this very offensive bandbox where the early games are soaring over the total and even the night games are an issue now because it's so hot. Then we also they get out on the road and they're the most pitcher-friendly environments that they've seen because they're so used to the bandbox. Every single angle is actually helping the Tampa Bay Rays. Whereas
we can't cap this in the preseason. What a fucking crazy thing is it, huh?
It's wild, but we knew early, when Spooner started giving us all the sending us all the articles on what the weather was doing, we knew that there was, a lot at play here. And it's a very different thing than the Trop. The Trop was sleepy and sucked. Now, pitchers are not quite. But now we know it's just like Lopez for the A's. Some of these minor league pitchers are going to have an advantage. So, Drew Rasmussen going up against Michael Wacha. Rasmussen numbers are even better than they look, and he has had most of his starts at home. I mean, he's only had 21 innings on the road. 21 innings. I mean, this is a pitcher who's had 58 innings at home in the bandbox, and his numbers are still very good. 6-5, 2.61 ERA, 0.97 WHIP. His last start at home, he allowed 2 earned runs over 5 1/3. On the road this year, in those 21 innings, he's allowed 9 earned runs. But I truly believe we're about to see these pitchers continue in these, pitchers, ballparks to succeed. Shout out to Flea Mathis in the house. What up, Flea? And it's lefties are the only ones that have a chance against Drew Asmussen this year. He's shutting righties down. 170, 469 OPS. It's just lefties. And we have Cags, we have Jack Caglione, we have Vincent Pasquantino, Kyle Isbell. So we have those three lefties. Waters will probably hit from the left-hand side. Michael Wacha on the other side here. Oh, man, that's tough, Kong. Thinking of you, man. Sorry, buddy. Fighting the good fight. We have a ton of respect. TJ says might be square, but I can't get off Tampa Bay. AM says, wow, if I see the Rays and Royals under 9, I'll be on the over. Book's rolling out the red carpet for the under betters. Michael Wacha, 4-6, 3.24 ERA, 1.19 whip. He's been pitching very well. Coming off 4-1 win at the Rangers, he allowed 1 earned run over 6 innings. At home this year, he's only allowed 13 earned runs in 8 starts. He's been excellent. 225 opponents batting average. He's allowed 4 home runs and 45 in a third. Splits are excellent. The Rays are raking righties right now. 281, 818 OPS. The Royals versus righties, 247, 685 OPS. And the Rays bullpens, just really delivered this year when, again, we talked about it before the season started. They were expected to be a bottom 5 bullpen. Royals bullpen's being mediocre. The Royals overall have been mediocre or worse than we expected them to be. Let's talk about the weather in Kansas City. Weather-wise, here we have, we have 92 Fahrenheit, feels like 93, 11.6 miles per hour to left center, dies down to 10.7 miles per hour. Let's get to Ballpark Pal for Kauffman Stadium, plus 10%. And this is what got me off the unders yesterday. Minus 6% home runs, plus 18% doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles. Take a look at the line history here, and we'll start with the total. There's a lot of talk about that in the chat. It is a 9. It opened up 9 minus 107 to the under. Now it's minus 116 to the under. So we've seen 9 cents of movement to the under. This also was not a real 8.5, but it was an 8.5 minus 125 to the over when it opened where we used to play poker. They've also moved it to 9 at minus 105 to the over. So a little different there. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have, here we go. Sorry. We have 79% of the tickets and 89% of cash on the under. It's a lot of money on the under. And line not moving that much. I mean, it's moved 9 cents. Is that enough? 78% of tickets on Drew Rasmussen, but just 57% of the cash. This is a very, very interesting spot. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it, Jose. Take it away, Rays, Royals.
Yeah, and shout out to TJ. Just dropped he dropped that there's a lot of big money coming in on the Pirates slate. I'm on the Brewers, obviously, so I was disappointed to hear that.
Is it changing the line though?
No, not that I've seen so far. But AM kind of echoed the thoughts that I was thinking. There's a shitload of money in bets on the under in this game, and again, up for specifics in this stake, there is 79% of the bets and 89% of the money on the under in this game. And Penny opened this up at, I'm losing my spot here, open up at 9 minus 107 to the under, minus 116 to the under now. A little interesting. Everywhere else, where we used to play poker at 9 juice to the over, or 8.5 juice to the over, it's now a 9. Another offshore had minus 122, now as 9. So I could see why people are betting the over in this game. It's not enough to get me there. I, again, lean that way in AM. I hope you win. But it's nothing for me here. I kind of like both these pitchers. I think they can pitch well, but I do lean over with AM.
And what is the biggest element that's leading you to the over?
Just the line, it might not be moving that much, especially on Penny, but the line going from 8.5 juiced or not going to a 9 with all that money on the under was a little interesting. So it wasn't enough to get me there. I'd love if these 9s were minus 110 or juiced to the over now at some point, and there's still plenty of time before this game, so maybe it'll get there at some point. But I need more, I guess, juice, more movement that way.
All right. Let's just a couple things here and see.
And while you do that, Chad Pickard, I'll put the link back in the chat. Jimmy explained it earlier here, but this run line calculator that our guy Ron Crawford made is it's nice. You can just put the wager amounts and all that stuff in there, and it'll put it on there, and it'll tell you how much to bet on each side, so you can build the -1.
God, I don't know if I get there, but I'm going to look more at that first 3 under here on this one. Okay, let's roll on. We've heard from Spooner backing these Chicago Cubs. Let's talk about the spot. Cubbies, Cardinals, Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Sancho in the house. What up, Sancho? We have Matt Boyd, 6-3, 2.84 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 79 Ks in 85 2/3. Last start, he allowed 2 earned runs over 5 innings and a 9-4 loss at home versus the Mariners. That's when he went up against George Kirby. And the market was indicating that the Mariners were very live in that spot. They happen to be so. Cheshire Cat says, fade Fetty, and that's the plan of Morgan Spooner. Back to Boyd, though, he's been strong on the road. 16 earned runs over 8 starts. He's only allowed 3 home runs in 44 2/3. Splits are great. Then you have Eric Fetty, 3-6, 3.54 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, coming off allowing 1 earned run over 5 innings and a 5-4 win at the White Sox. He has had his struggles at home. You know, he's allowed 16 earned runs in 33 innings. The K to walk ratio is not what he wants. 19 strikeouts and 14 walks. He's allowed 2 home runs overall. BJ says fade Fetty due to regress. Cubbies versus righties, 249, 751 OPS last 30 days. Cards versus lefties, 246, 714. Cubs bullpens come back to earth a little bit, but still the best bullpen in Major League Baseball over the last 30 days. And the Cards bullpen has been mediocre all season long. Let's touch on the weather here in St. Louis. We have possible drizzle early. 93, feels like 100, 4.5 miles per hour to left. And that stays at 4.5, which makes Busch surprisingly -1% overall, plus 2% homers, -1% doubles and triples, and plus 3% singles. When we get into the line history, here we have the money line for the Cardinals at plus 134. There's been a huge move towards the Cubs. They've gone from -123 to -146. A monstrous move towards the Cubs. A move that we should probably utilize, and we should probably join Spooner on the fade Fetty train and BJ as well. This total opened up 9 juice to the under, -117. It was pretty heavily juiced to the under. There was an initial move towards the over, but that went away, and we have an 8.5 now. It's not a huge move, but a move. TJ says until recently, money was on St. Louis and the line moved to the Cubs, and some people I know might have changed that. Says take the Cubs -1. Robert Franklin agreeing with the Cubs money line. DC Capper leaning Cubs. Sancho saying that he will tail the Cubs. Take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 66% of tickets, 67% of cash on the Cubs, 53% of tickets on the over, but 69% of cash on the under. Interesting. Take it away for us here, Jose. Cubbies, Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm on the Cubs with Spoon, but they're just the second half of the parlay. Mets, Cubs, just the 2 spots where the line was moving towards the other team. You know, made a drastic move. By the way, walk, I believe, and then stolen base. Now sack fly has Adam Frazier to third against Mizorowski. 1 out, and like we said, we need 3 runs. So 1 run here would be pretty big for the kid here. So that'd be nice. But yeah, Cubs, Mets money line parlay for me plus 178. Officially official. I found a little bit of success betting these 2-leg parlays. So
wow, that would be very helpful to get on the board for you here.
Yes, just a run in this first inning would be great.
Oh, it'd be huge. Be very, very, very big.
Now I've got Spencer Horowitz up, and Mizorowski is a strikeout artist. So fucking contact is not assured. Not in this MLB, unfortunately. Infield is as well. So that's a little concerning. These bastards know that this is going to be a low-scoring game here.
Well, I will join you on the Cubbies. I'm going to have to take that -1 line, but I will join you. We also have
It
a
is-
runner. Oh, say what?
I was going to say it's just nice being I forget what the word is, but it's nice just being proven right when I just said the -1.5 for the devil, and there's actual like data backing it up now that -1.5 are just tough to make money on. So glad shot to Spoon for that.
I'm very, very interested in these two baseball games going on right now. Extremely interested. Justin says if Pirates score, betting Brewers money line again here. Topset says looking forward to the races, Jim. Oh, thank you, Elio. We're very excited. It's been too long since we've done it here on our channel. So big Saturday of horse racing here. And I can't wait. I'm really excited. Pumped up. I'm going to join you guys on the Cubbies. Let's roll on. What a game last night in Dyken Park.
The Dyke.
Framber Valdez was spectacular. Handled adversity, and well, he got the dreaded strikeout. God, this kid's good. Look at that. I mean, it's just high heat, God, he's all right. You still got a chance, though. So here we go. Zach Wheeler going up against Colton Gordon after the incredible pitching performance. Astros now 13 games over 500. Good God, are they playing good baseball?
And
here.
they just keep doing it. It's crazy. They just keep reloading with these young guys, and their minor league development is just impressive.
It's phenomenal. We have Zach Wheeler going up against Colton Gordon. Zach Wheeler, 7-2, 2.61 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. He's been so good year after year after year. Coming off a 10-2 win at home over the Mets. He only went 5 innings. I mean, he's not been going deep into games. They don't need him to right now. On the road, he's been a little worse than he's been at home, but he's been very good everywhere. His splits are phenomenal. Going up against the lefty Colton Gordon, 2-1, 4.54 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. He's gone through 5 innings here, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 2 home runs. It was 6-4 extra inning loss at the Athletics. At home, he's been touched a bit. He's only had 4 starts, only made it through 20 in the third, 294 opponent's batting average. The issue, and so of course righties are hitting him hard. It's old school splits for a lefty, but the Phillies just aren't hitting lefties, man. 221, 634 OPS, and the Astros are not hitting righties as hard as they're hitting lefties. They're 258, 715 OPS, and the Phillies bullpen has been bad. The Astros bullpen has been kind of poor as well. Let's take a look at the line history and hear what Jose is doing with this one. We have this total at 7.5, -111 to the under. This opened up at 7.5, -111 to the over. It got down to 7 many times, and each time it got hammered back up to 7.5. On the money line here, we have. Sorry, trying not to focus on the action that we already have. On the money line, we have Zach Wheeler and the Phillies at -154. They opened up at -151. It's not very good. Not very good. And when we get to the cash flow here, if it's all on the Phillies, I'm certainly not. It isn't. 59% of tickets, 54% cash on the Phillies, 82% of tickets, 79% cash on the under. Take it away for us here, Jose. Phillies, Astros.
Yeah, I feel like I escaped my money yesterday after taking the Astros. You get a 1-0 win. It was great. Shout to Framber, and I already forgot who pitched yesterday for the Phillies. Strike 3, unfortunately, gets us out of the inning, and Mizorowski's excited about it. God damn, did that guy arms look like mine? I can't believe I can't throw 100. What a shame.
No. 2-run bomb by the Diamondbacks. Fucking Burke, you son of a bitch.
He remains the second most famous Sean Burke, even though the other one sucks. That guy sucks, by the way. I can't believe. I thought he was actually good the way you made it seem. But I have nothing on this game. I got out. I think Wheeler can go out there and pitch well again. But I'd probably lean over after a 1-0 ball game, though. But nothing for me.
God, he destroyed it. Live totals now 9.5. Juice to the over. All right. So here we go. Astros, Phillies. There's not enough here. This feels coin flippy. Colton Gordon, the line not moving to the Phillies is telling. The amount of and I don't want to fade Wheeler. I don't really want Colton Gordon. This feels coin flippy to me, total and side. So I'm going to stay off. There's one for Perdomo. Nice job, Ronnie Lofton. So here we go. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. We have 2 games left before we get into WNBA with Billy Brisbane. LA Dodgers 49-31, 19-17 on the road at the Colorado Rockies, 18-61, 8-30 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Let's get into the weather at Coors off the hop. We have 74 Fahrenheit, feels like 70, 8 miles per hour to right, dies down at 7.2 miles per hour. Thank God I didn't double down on that under. It moved to 8 and I got cold feet. That might save me. We get to Ballpark Pal. They have Coors Field plus 19%, plus 12% homers, plus 28% doubles and triples, and plus 7% singles. Line history-wise with Yamamoto and my guy, Chase Dollander, we have the not huge, but legit move towards the Dodgers. They opened up minus 295. They're now minus 316, so 21 cents of movement towards them. We get to the total here. We have the 11 minus 114 to the over. This opened up at 11 even money to the over, so 14 cents of movement towards that over. We just saw a ton of runs yesterday. So cash flow wise for this one, we have the 77% of the tickets on the Dodgers, just 54% of the cash. Now the lines moved 21 cents towards the Dodgers. Total wise, 54% of tickets on the over and 67% of cash on that over. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 6-6, 2.76 ERA, 1.09 whip. Last start, 6 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, no walks, the 5-3 loss at home versus the Padres. He has allowed just 8 earned runs in 7 starts on the road. He's been excellent on the road, but it's tricky being in Colorado. And I imagine, Jose mentioned it, but I imagine he's not been here. I imagine. So, I mean, he's only allowed Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah. Let me tell you right now.
Chase Dollander, 2-7, 6.19 ERA, 1.48 whip. He's allowed 14 home runs this year, but he's starting to pitch quite well. He cashed for me on the under in this last start, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, no walks, and 4 extra inning loss at the Nets.
This will be his second time.
What did he do that first time?
5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, 6 Ks, no walks. On the 29th of September, his last start against the Rockies, 13-2 win. So I don't know when they scored the runs. I can look that up right now and let you guys know. It was all early. So he gave up a run in the first inning to go down 1-0. They scored 3 immediately. So he was chilling.
So we have Chase Dollander's being lit up and smoked in Colorado. 22 earned runs over 22 thirds, 8 home runs in 5 starts, 341 opponents batting average. I do believe he's better than the numbers indicate, but Dodgers bullpen's worse than the Rockies bullpen over the last 30 days. Dodgers bullpen one of the worst Major League Baseball over the last 30 days, but they're smashing righties, 266, 815 OPS, and the Rockies versus righties, 245, 740 OPS. Take it away for us here, Jose. Dodgers, Rockies.
Yeah, you guys will know what I'm saying. I say I don't believe anyone in shooting baseball should be minus 300. I'm not going to bet the Rockies. I lean the Rockies, but nothing here for me, just to keep it short and sweet.
All right. Let's roll on here. I don't think I move on this one at all.
Gone first base again for the Brewers here. Christian Yelich is up now. Would be nice.
I think that Dollander is better than his numbers indicate, but it's such offensive weather. I don't want to get involved in an under in this, but
there'll never not be offensive weather in Coors, though, right?
Well, this time of year. AM says the only way I see to play this is drink the juice and play Dodgers -1. While the majority of money is on the Dodgers, it's more telling there's a good amount of on the Rockies. It's huge dogs and lines not moving. And TJ says, Jose, where did your huge sack go? This is supposed to be a Rockies bet for you.
Helga has it.
She does. Let's talk about our final spot on the board. And I don't bet first 5 unders, so I won't be going heads up with Dabby Cab, but this was the first 3 under that I wanted. I like Cabrera a lot. I think he's pitching very well right now. He's had 5 road starts. He's only allowed 9 earned runs in those road starts. His splits are fine. He's a pitcher I believe in. Logan Webb now with multiple home starts. We know what he does in this situation. He's allowed 8 earned runs and 8 home starts. He's in that one. The market told us he was going to get touched. In every other start, it hasn't, and he hasn't got touched. These bats have no power. Marlins versus righties, 259, 676 OPS. Giants versus righties, 232, 692 OPS. I made a lot of money on this game yesterday, and I want to make a lot more again here today. Both bullpens have become trustworthy. We know the Giants have been great bullpen for a long time, but now the Marlins bullpen is pitching pretty well. So let's get into the weather and the line history and hear from Jose. 59 Fahrenheit, feels like 54, 9.8 miles per hour out to left center. We have Ballpark Pal giving us minus 12% overall, minus 33% home runs, minus 3% doubles and triples, plus 7% singles. We get to the cash flow here. And sorry, let's go through that line history. We have this 7. It's not moved. I mean, it's just been sitting there under 7 minus 112. It opened up under 7 minus 112. At one point, it got up to minus 116. At one point, it got down to minus 111. But it's just, it's not moving. When we get to the money line here, we have Giants minus 217. They opened up minus 210. So just a 7-cent move towards them. I have been not succeeding at this price range because I guess I'm sitting here when it's at minus 200 saying, well, I want the market to show some concern and move it 25 cents. But maybe the market, by starting it at minus 200, is saying everything I need it to be said. And I've been not moving on these spots because I deem it not a big enough move. But maybe it's the opening line is what I should be focusing on as much as the movement after the opening line comes out. Again, I'm just saying that for me to hear it. 73% of the tickets, 81% of cash on the Giants. So I'd like there to be a move towards them. 80% of the tickets and 95% cash on the under, and the line's not moving towards the under. I mean, this is not setting me up to make a bet, Jose. And this is the only one I wanted to make. Now, again, we cap these games together, and it takes hours. This is not, me coming to the show, making moves on all these games and just telling you what my bet is and the angle for it, because this is what 2-1 already for Arizona. Wow, that first 3 gone, which is not the way I want to start up the day. But look, I started the day 0-3 yesterday and finished 6-3. That's not the way I want it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's not. That's not a fun night. That's just
No, it's not.
You stay up way too late and then when you get all the cash at the end of the night, you can't sleep.
See, I had the exact opposite experience. My first bet lost, and then all the rest of them won. I fell asleep during the Red Sox game. I was like, I had already locked up a winning day. We're doing great. I fell asleep listening to it.
Yeah, not me here. So nothing here is taking me to the under that I so badly wanted. Jose Bouquet, take it away. Marlins, Giants.
Yeah, I mean, both pitchers on the bump, I generally trust. Edward Cabrera, not as much, obviously. So I stayed off. Maybe if you like a low total and you can bet a first 5 plus a half here with the Marlins, I'd kind of lean that way, hoping it's a 0-0. But end of the day, I don't like fading Logan Webb at home when the market doesn't tell me to. So nothing for me.
All right. Let's do a review of action here. Jose, why don't you go through your baseball card today?
Yeah, not much today. Honestly, shocking. After breaking on the card, I haven't moved on too much. I guess I might move on the Red Sox. I haven't made a decision on that yet. Here, a little worried about them facing a lefty, but the Red Sox have great numbers against Kikuchi, and I think and hope will be a bet for me as well. I'm going to want to refresh one more time here. Okay, well, I'll sit on it until after you're done, Jimmy, and I'll probably end up moving on it. But Brewers minus 103 full game. The first 5 over 3, plus 115 in that game as well. And for my other 2 bets, I've got Toronto Blue Jays, Cleveland Guardians under 8 minus 105. A little disgusting to bet an under game with Max Scherzer on the bump, but maybe he'll go 3 innings, 3 runs, and then Spencer Turnbull can shut it down after as well. Spoons, that's nice to hear that Kyle's on the Red Sox, kept him off the Angels, so maybe I will take that indeed. And my last bet, officially as of now, is Mets Cubs, the moneyline parlay plus 178. And I guess I'll move on the Red Sox right now, minus whatever it is. I don't even know right now. Plus 115, sorry.
TJ saying that Miami, San Francisco for 7 under. I mean, I'm fine with the bullpen's got me paid, and I stayed off the first 3 under last game. Yesterday, it was a great day.
Yeah, you're up 7 some units. I'm up 8 some units. So it's, a lot of ass slapping going around. It's been great.
It's not enough. It's not enough, Jose, because one bad day, one bad week, we got to get over double digits, and we got to climb up here. 2-2. Wow, 2-2.
Yeah, Zach Gallen, man, that's fucking crazy how bad he's been. Like, he's gonna get traded, and I think the Diamondbacks are gonna be sellers. I'm going to be fascinated to see what happens when he gets traded, because I think like the Yankees would be smart to trade for him and just tweak, and they'd be good. The Dodgers, they wouldn't trade him in the division, but yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
Let's review action here, and then we will get into WNBA. Don't have Brizzy backstage. I imagine he'll be here shortly. We have Stacks play day number 1, Tigers over 8.5. I mean, I've capped the games and we'll rock like that, but Tigers over 8.5 and Acuna Jr. over 1.5 bases here. So we have Billy Friedrich not rocking with us today. God, we need him. Imagine how good you've been when you're running ice cold 3-5 down 1.71 units. Gives you an idea of how good he's been.
I miss you, Billy.
We love Billy. Truth Teller is on the over 7 in that Giants game. Truth Teller, Mets, Mariners, Phillies run line, 9 Legacy, Brewers double result, Red Sox double result, Padres run line. And the play of the day for Sports Science, Jacob, is that Milwaukee team total under a half run first 3. Markel on the Tigers run line and Marlins first 5 money line. Black Thor King on Scherzer under 4.5 strikeouts. That's his play of the day. TJ gave us Tampa Bay money line, Cubs -1, Toronto Cleveland over, and the Angels first 5. BJ's best bet is the New York Mets. He also endorses the Cubs. Spooner on the Reds +2.5. Blue Jays Guardians over 8. Tigers team total under 4.5. Mets money line, Cubs money line. I am 0-1 to start the day. Not good. Thank God I didn't double down on it. Then I've only made 2 other bets, and those are Guardians first 3 and first 5. I'm not going to let... I'm so interested in that baseball game because I'm not letting the splits get in the way. I know he's been hit by righties, and there's dangerous righties in the Jays lineup, but I think Gavin Williams is a bet on pitcher, and now he's back home after a nice start in an in a pitcher friendly environment in San Francisco. But I'm fading Scherzer. I'm so interested in that baseball game. The under 8.5 in Boston, LA Angels is what I'll be looking at after the show, and the first 3 under 2 in Washington, San Diego. The first 3 under in the full game under in Texas, Baltimore. Then
what is that first 3 under in Washington, San Diego?
Well, it's a 2. But it's a 2 at plus money. It was a 2 at plus money. I'd be curious. I mean, it's very, again, like that, at some point, Jose, I believe as soon as the show's over, you'll spend an hour and a half going over every single thing, every game again, because it's changed my ROI drastically. It's not fun. It's stressful and
I definitely take a peek like at the line moves, so like right before the games, and to make myself feel better about worse about myself. I'll tell you that.
No, I go over every single game, over every single thing, over every opportunity.
No, I mean, I've seen it in person. I've seen it in person. The next hour after the shows during Public Palooza, Jimmy needs isolation.
It's just but it's what do what works, and I imagine that you will at some point follow in these footsteps. Because it's been very helpful. I mean, look, I just beat football, basketball, and hockey with over 2,000 bets. I beat them all incomfortably. And so, I mean, I'm trying to become the best capper I can be, and that's why working with you guys, it's getting me there. And I try every day to be better than I was yesterday.
What has been your favorite season from a capping standpoint so far? Was it the hockey where you dominated the futures markets and did that thing in the first round? Was it NFL, which was I think it was a consistent beating.
It was nice, yeah. It was
I think it was a consistent beating. And NBA, which is, allegedly I think the hardest sport to cap. What was more satisfying, the most satisfying for you?
Nothing's been satisfying. I felt like I've been losing all year. I'm stressed the fuck out. Nothing.
Fair.
The only thing that makes me feel good is that feeling we all get about 5 minutes before 7 p.m. or 4 p.m. if you're on West Coast. That feeling makes it all worthwhile. Nothing. I don't feel satisfied. I don't enjoy the record. It's not good enough, and it's such a battle, and it's nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's not been one season that's felt good ever. The first first 3 under in that Padres Nationals, it was minus 150 on the 2.5, and now it is. I'd be happy. Oh wow! Now they're not even showing they're only showing the 1.5. That makes me feel. God damn! It's moved 25 fucking cents. Oh, why didn't I just fucking bet it?
Under?
Good God. It's moved 25 fucking cents. I should have just bet it. And I said that. Good God. All right. Thank you guys for the very kind words. It means a ton to me. For real, anyway, he's supposed to be, but I'm going to expect him not to be. He's usually here by now, and he hasn't replied. So, but thank you very, very much for the kind words. It means a ton to me. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with that first 3 under 2. It makes me want to smash something. First 3 under in full game under in Texas, Baltimore. And then there's not that much action. I'm going to take a closer look at the Mets with you guys. I'm going to take a closer look at that first 3 under with Kirby and Ryan. The first 3 under in Tampa, Kansas City. I'm going to take a closer look at the Cubs, but those Cubs Mets will both have to be on the -1 line. And then I don't know what to do with this under in the Marlins Giants game. It's just there's not enough movement towards it, even though I had my eye on it since yesterday afternoon. So there you go. There you go. That is MLB for today. As Brizzy not rock with us, maybe he shows up here during, but why don't you stick around and cap the WNBA with us? And Spooner's saying, don't sleep on the Reds +2.5. I'll go over everything again. My action hasn't been getting in till 5 p.m. because I'm sitting here, we're going over all the notes. Let's get into WNBA. Jose coming off a 2-1 day yesterday, but again, it was the chat. It was listening to the chat. It was listening and thinking about that line. And that's going to be something I'm going to use a lot more and not get so caught, because I was caught up in that -1 to -3.5 for the Seattle Storm. But the most important thing, and it took me way too long to figure it out. And if I had fully figured it out, I would have moved on the Fever. But the idea that it opened up at -1, it should never have opened up at -1. It should open up at -4 or 5 at a minimum. The fact that it opened up at -1 told us everything we needed to know. So that took a little bit. But let's roll. Mr. Justin McKelvey got the Valkyries +4.5. First half -115 in his pocket. Sancho has the Liberty -9.5. Let's get to work, Jose. We got 2 games, 10 p.m. Eastern, a little late night WNBA action. Set us up for Liberty, Golden State, Valkyries.
Yeah, the lines are moving in these games, and shout out to Billy wherever you are. They typically do, according to him. 8.5 juiced towards the plus or the Golden State team. Valkyries is what their team name is. So I'm bumbling this through. But this opened up at 8.5 +125 to the Valkyries here. It's now a 10. Penny opened this up 8.5 -110 each way, -102 to the -10 right now for the New York Liberty here. Funny enough, 70% of the bets, 55% of the money on the Golden State Valkyries here, which is fascinating. I mean, again, I looked at this team preseason. I was like, I don't know one fucking woman on this team. How are they not going to be the worst team in basketball for the WNBA? And Billy has mentioned it, and so have you. They're better than the sum of their parts. They've been doing well. But it seems like to me the New York Liberty go out here and smash their ass. What do you think, Jimmy?
Well, this big move towards the Liberty which didn't materialize early. This opened up at 8.5, went down to 7. And now we have the move to 10, which tells us that Ionescu is in. It has to be. It has to mean that Ionescu is in. She missed last game with a neck injury. Can we get somebody here to touch on that? The Ionescu. We also have Jonquel Jones with the ankle, and Fibic is, playing in Europe right now, so she's not around. AM on Liberty -9.5 and the over 161. So my thought here is, let's talk about Liberty coming off their second straight loss in third and 4 games, 89-79 at Seattle on Saturday. I'm not sure how much extra that, Ionescu is still questionable. And don't you think this line is telling us that Ionescu is in?
I would agree with that.
But we need to know, and so that's important. Thank you for looking into it. But that line has to, because we still have tickets in cash on Golden State. So did the loss at Seattle mean a little bit more because Brianna Stewart played for Seattle for 6 years? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she cares that much. She is a WNBA champion now that she left Seattle. So I don't know. But it's possible that it did. Or you could put a line through that and say, look, it has nothing to do with Brianna Stewart being, embarrassed or whatever feeling. You could say Liberty had 21 turnovers in that basketball game. It's unacceptable. So Brianna Stewart goes for 18. We know there's no Ionescu. And so Maureen Johannes made her first start season. She looked pretty good. 5 of 5 shooting in the first half. She went for 17 points overall. She looked pretty good. Rebecca Gardner also made her first start of the season. So we have Golden State coming off their second straight win, 5th in 6 games, 87-63 over Connecticut on Sunday. But that's when I want to fade a team is, defeating the worst team by far in the WNBA and the Connecticut Sun by 24. It's game 3 of a 5-game homestand. Is it possible that they could come in a little lackadaisical? And, my answer is yes. Yes. Now, there's also moving parts with Golden State, though. Kayla Thornton had 21 points and 8 boards in that win over Connecticut. Tiffany Hayes went for 14. And Thornton played for Liberty last 2 years. And now she gets to be the star here on Golden State. So I know that this game means something to her. They need Ionescu. Another thing is these teams have met and played twice already. The first game was a huge blowout for the Liberty. And then the second game, the Valkyries played much better and covered. And we were on the Valkyries in that game too. So this is game 2 of a 4-game road trip for the Liberty. And I like them very much early. AM says 80% of bets on the under 80% of tickets on the under, 80% of money on the under, and the total climbs 1.5 points. This worked out great for us last night, AM. That was a very easy over cash. Now, this is the Sparks Sky. It correlated with my feeling on the Sparks, even though I was wrong on it, but they still put up a ton of points. I think you are right. I think that there's going to be points in this basketball game. I guess I have some interest in that, but I have interest in Liberty early. I want to just trust here, and I don't know if I can. I want to just trust that Ionescu will be in, but I don't know if I can. Let me just pull this up here and see what I'd be getting on that first quarter. These first quarters also, a lot of the books aren't offering them. And my ROI has been quite strong on them, and I understand why the books aren't offering them. The sharp books aren't offering them. I'm going to take the Liberty first quarter. I think that they come out strong. So I'm going to take Liberty first quarter, and I may join. I may join AM on that over. I'm going to have over as a question mark, and then we have 1-0 Brewers here. And the High Owl had Benintendi to get a hit. And he got that homer. Nice job. The High Owl in the house.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
It is. Okay, so that is our first game. So I'm going to be on Liberty first quarter -2.5. I think they come out angry. And the over is appealing. I'm
Interesting note from TJ, by the way, saying I would wager the handle on the entire WNBA card is less than the lowest handle of the MLB card. So cash and tickets mean jack shit. I disagree, but I find that interesting. Not about the objectivity about the handle, but I mean, I think it's still important.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to explain the movement. That's all. I think it'll come down to that almost always. You want to explain the movement. So I think it just comes down to that. But TJ says his max bet on WNBA is $3K, so nothing wrong with that. I think that you always need to be able to explain movement. That's what brings you success. And when you don't focus on movement and why a move happens, and you just only trust your X's and O's, at least for me, you don't succeed. I don't succeed.
What a joke. Texas State's going to go to the fucking Pac-12. What a fucking joke that is.
Well, we have a huge at bat here. 1 and 2 count, 2 runners on. And is it enough? Not only is it enough, it is a 3-0 Brewers lead.
Oh, how lovely. How great.
No, sorry, he was held up. What an asshole. Why was he not? How did he not get home?
That is ass clownery right there by the third base coach.
I
hope that for his sake, I hope that he fucking sent him, and the guy was just not looking up. But the fact that he's not at home there is a joke. But we just need a productive out here.
How did Haas not come home there? Wow. Well, you know what? What are you guys seeing? What do you mean you're seeing 1-0? What are you talking about?
I think everyone's just behind. I don't know. I'm watching the game live too. It's 2.
You guys can
good.
see 1-0 all you want. Well, I didn't move on the under one, the first 3 under 1.5. That went from plus 105 to minus 120. The problem is I still threw my fucking cash in the toilet. You know, Cruz is
O'Neal?
a problem in center field.
Yes.
And he cost me in that Burrow start. That's why I went 6-1 on Friday. It was 6-1 with a push. I would have gone 7-1, but I pushed that first 3 under 2 because of a similar situation where he was just an absolute ass clown in center. And look at that. You're going to get more and more and more.
Am I cashing? Shots
Well, you're in business. It was a...
Oh, what an asshole.
Yeah.
It's Pirates baseball. Just fade these fuckers, man. Even when they got their best guy on the mound, just fade, Paul Skeens.
This is absolutely wild.
It's my version of your old man pitcher. Fade this young fuck.
I don't know about fading Skeens here, but a 1.5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, but it has to be maybe these are the best pitchers in the sport, but I
mean, shout out to Dabby Cab. I'm only betting that because Dabby Cab, I watched Cab cash on a first 5 over, and the full game still stays under, which is crazy. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this full game stays under and Pittsburgh just does not score here. But the fact that these first 3 under or first 3 over, 3.5s, 3s, like those just should be bet apparently.
Let's roll, Jose. Set up Connecticut Sun, Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Only a measly 19.5 point spread for the Las Vegas Aces here. That probably means Asia Wilson is back from her conky. Yeah, I think she's been back for a few games now, actually. But market in this game, there's 73% of the bets, 79% of the money on the under in this game. Unsurprising, there's 80% of the bets, 82% of the money on Las Vegas. This opened up at a measly 16 and just climbs all the way up to 19 there. Penny opened this up at 17.5. It goes to 19 there. So, I mean, I don't know, Jimmy. It's tough to try to back a 20-point dog. I mean, at the very least, if you're going to back the Aces a 20-point favorite, you've got them at home here. Maybe the Aces want to make a statement here. But I'm very interested to hear what your cap is on this game.
I'm excited to talk about the game. We got Lucas Ryan in the house. What up, Lucas? So this line's obviously ludicrous. And it's because not only, are the Connecticut Sun terrible, but Marina Mabry is out for 2 to 4 weeks. There are articles out there that say she's a game time decision. Don't read those articles. And also, of course, there's still records, season-long records on these articles. If you agree with the article that you read, cap it again. You've done something wrong. The Connecticut Sun come in off their 6th straight loss, 87-63 at Golden State on Sunday. So they were outscored 36-12 in the second quarter. Anissa Morrow led the Suns with 14 points. J.C. Sheldon scored 10. They were horrific, as they are. I mean, they go 7-24 from 3. Well, that's what they shoot from 3. That's not a bad game. That's just a game. They go 20-66 from the field. Again, that's a little worse than normal. This is game 2 of a 4-game trip. And so they come out on the road trip. And the question is, truly, do they not care? Are they not trying? And, if they're going to let Morrow give her some run, give some of these young picks run, I think that they can bounce back. That was a horrible way to start the road trip. This team, scores 71.9 points per game. They shoot 29.1% from 3. That's that's off by 0.1 of what 7-24 is. Tina Charles no-shows in the first game of this trip. And I think that she'll try here. You have the Aces snapping their 3-game losing streak with the 89-81 victory at home over the Fever on Sunday. A huge game that meant so much to them. Asia Wilson goes for 24. 5 Aces score in double figures. Jackie Young goes for 19. Chelsea Gray goes for 18. It's game 3 of a 4-game homestand. And they already destroyed Connecticut at home. They beat them 87-62 as 14-point home favorites. I just find it difficult. Honestly, to imagine that the Aces are going to be locked in the first quarter. They know that they're going to destroy this team. They're going to come in so loosey-goosey. AM says this over looks really interesting. I think the over looks interesting as well. I also, honestly, kind of like Connecticut team total over, but I don't know if I need to get there. This first quarter of 6 is lower than one would expect it to be. And I think it's telling. It's telling us that it's possible that Vegas overlooks them to start out this game. So I'm going to need more time on this one. But the Connecticut Sun first quarter is appealing to me. I want to see what happens with this market. And you know what? The over is appealing to me in this game too. The over is appealing to me in this game too because there's just going to be a lack of defensive intensity. And TJ, I watch some of them. I mean, I watch parts of each game that I'm involved in. I watch parts. I don't sit there and watch all 40. But I watch parts of these games. So I want Connecticut first quarter and the over. I want Liberty first quarter and the over. It's not easy to watch all of these games, but it is important, to get a feel for the players. You don't want to be betting a sport where you don't really know the players. So, all right, there we go. So it looks like I'm going to hammer these 2 games. And these are 250 a pop, so it's not like I know a lot of people have much bigger unit sizes than that. Mine's 300, so it's a little less than a regular unit, but I'm going to invest in these 2 basketball games. Liberty first quarter and the full game over. Connecticut first quarter, and I think the full game over there as well. Redbeard says, tough to watch, fun to bet. I'm right with you, Redbeard. I'm enjoying capping it, and I'm enjoying betting it. And also, when we've been running through baseball and the analytics and hammering and then capping tomorrow's card, when 10 p.m. rolls around and there's a little WNBA action, it's a bit of a reprieve. I kind of like it. So Sorry that we didn't have Brizzy here for us today. But it's all good. That is our show for today. Let's review all action. We've pretty much done the full review already, just 15 minutes ago. So I guess we don't need to do the full review.
Yeah, it's kind of nice not having to review like 6 sports, huh?
No, none of this is my back is just littered with knots. I find this this vocation that we've chosen taxing. And again, the feeling right before 7 is pretty exciting. But other than that, it just the stress, the just like De La said, the stakes are so goddamn high. And in all of these sports, that we talked about, even being up 20 units in NFL, it's not enough. Right? It's not enough. There's not enough money coming in. So it's a fucking battle, man. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Cheshire Cat, Swaggy, McNolegs, Voodoo Ranger. Thank you guys. Black Thor King, Timmy Two Shoes, Johnny K, Redbeard, TJ, Jerry Jones. It was a great group. Kelly McInnes. Thank you guys so much. Oh, God, they're freezing there. Sancho Timos. Thank you guys. Wager Detective, Ronnie Lofton. Thank you. Nutflush Allen. Thank you guys all so much for the support here. It truly, truly means the world to us. Markel, Von Polo. Thank you guys so much, man. Let's roll out and get that cash. We have a huge show tomorrow. We're going to be hammering CFL off the top. And we have Bobano joining us for that. Go out there and get that cash, you guys. Go out there and get that cash. And as soon as I'm done getting this action in, it's 5 p.m. And I'm a dad for 3 hours. But everybody knows when I start going like this that it's 6:50, 6 p.m. And the roller coaster ride's about to start. And I love that shit. I'll never stop loving that shit. That shit's worth it. That shit's so worth it. And the big wins, trying to focus on the how good the wins feel instead of how bad the losses hurt. It's all good. So big CFL show tomorrow. Jose, my man. Lucas Ryan says last 2 5-unit plays were winners, so I'll drop my next 2. Please do. Please do. Robert Cherry, thoughts to your mom, my man. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. Jose, great job. Thank you to Spooner for rocking with us. Jose, can you please bless our action and let us into the future?
Yeah. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to the guys that watch and don't comment. And shout out to the guys that help cap these cards even though they're not here. Like, again, Dabby Cap. Busy giving baseball lessons, but helped me out. And got me on that first 5 over 3. So shout out to you, Cab. And I hope your lessons are going well. Kelly, AM, Justin, Lucas, Timmy Two Shoes, my guy Top Set, BJ. Good luck, everyone. Nasty Nate in here as well. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. Let's get some Red Sox money tonight. I wish everyone a good luck. Jimmy, good luck. Let's go get some money. And let's Jay. Los bookmakers. Let's go.